everyone! Welcome back for another year of critical critique. We're back again. We're back again.
Yeah.
Can't kill it. We're not doing another 6-year fucking hiatus like we did the one. We're actually being consistent. We're back.
Yay. Well, I was streaming last week, though. You know,
You kind of ruined it by deciding, oh yeah, stream my silly JRPG, silly little RPG game last week. Ruining it.
But Nretsew,
that's all good.
The stream started as a disaster. That stream for me. I was talking a whole lot of stuff what I did the entire week. Wow, but I was muted. So Nretsew, you can try.
Oh boy.
What did you do?
What did I do? I stayed at home and I played a fuckload of GFL 2. That's what I did. Played a shitload of GFL 2. Did a bit of War Thunder grinding so I could get a Jewish jet. That was pretty good. Among other things. So yeah, no, I didn't do anything really over the holidays. Just lazing around, getting up to date on my GFL so I can do all that stuff. Oh shit. But yes. Well, at least you got all the technical difficulties out.
You don't know the half of it. Well, you do know because I spoiled you a little bit.
You spoiled me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So problems.
The vacation 3 weeks ago or so started kind of normal, going over to the family for the Christmas stuff. And all was fine and well. They wanted me to stay longer, but no, I had stuff ordered. Nretsew, I got myself a water cooler for my CPU because I felt like it was kind of getting too hot too often. And, closing the games.
Oh, fancy.
But Nretsew, this was a prelude to disaster.
Oh, yeah. Bad decisions were made, yeah.
So I replaced chips before. I have built motherboards and PCs. I know some stuff. So when I placed So when I did the water cooler and did the thing and the PC they did nothing, I did not panic. That happens.
Yeah.
You unscrew and screw it in again. It's normal for your first time pressing the power button that nothing happens. That's not so when you are trying for 3 hours and still nothing happens.
Uh-oh.
So I planned
what switch did you fucking flip that broke the brake thing? Oh no.
So the socket on your motherboard for the processor.
Yeah.
So I discovered that I kind of just barely didn't put it in, but just on the edge. So I crushed a little bit of plastic, so it didn't actually make contact with the things underneath.
You gotta be careful with that because Gamers Nexus had a video where they showed that having that happen can actually cause big explosion boom because in the Gamers Nexus video they got sent they saw a Reddit post from a guy who was like, hey, my CPU exploded, right? And they were like that sounds fucking wild. We'll buy. So they brought the parts off the guy at market value so they could make a video on it. And what they found out was what had happened was the guy had installed the CPU and either due to a manufacturer fault in the motherboard or because of just the guy not putting it in properly, it had so in the socket, right? For people that are uninitiated, there's these guide nubs of plastic, right? And one of those plastic nubs was cracked, right? And was unseated properly, right? And it had was cut in half and almost as if the guy had forced the CPU in on the bit of plastic and it had crushed it, right? And because he did that, the CPU was off kilter by about a couple of millimeters, and it caused the pins to unalign, right? So what that does is that means that voltage is getting, because all of those different pins on the motherboard are for different things. Some of them are for like electricity delivery, some of them are for data transfer, some of them are for whatever. So what was happening was the pins that were sending like the high voltage power through the chip were on the wrong pads on the CPU. So the power was getting sent into the wrong area, and that caused the CPU to basically like, and you can see it in the video where like the CPU is like burnt in certain locations, and the motherboard is burnt, and it got so hot that the pins on the motherboard turned blue, which means they would have had to have gotten hot enough to temper the metal. So you got to be careful with that kind of thing, because that you don't want to have your CPU and motherboard explode on you.
Basically,
not
I had
fun.
the exact same thing, but what happened with me...
But yours didn't explode. But hasn't exploded.
So, because I crushed the plastic knobs that was meant to guide the processor in the correct place, I crushed it on top of it, which meant the chip was in the right place, and the tolerance, the slidey what the processor could do wasn't enough to go to another point on the processor. So, but what it did meant is that it didn't make contact with all the things, all the pins, right? Also, I have an Intel, so I don't actually, insert the chip.
I think both of them are using pins on the motherboard now. I think.
It doesn't. It's more like hairs that touch the thing, not that I press it in.
Well, here's the thing, Ellie. I can show you we can use our show off the new toy. Show off the new toy that you've developed, because I've got the Gamers Nexus video open right now.
Yes.
So this is the motherboard, right? This is a picture of the motherboard.
Yeah, let me quickly
get the thing sort of ordered.
Yes.
And I'm trying to find one of the CPU, because they took one of the CPU.
Look, I can see Nretsew can send images to me, and let me idle. Oh, I didn't put this scene into idle yet. Idle is what I call this scene. So if I just put Discord imports.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
This scene.
I'm getting the pictures of the plastic now. So hang on. So this is from, and I'll link the video in the chat if people are interested in watching it, because it is an interesting video and it might help people not make the same mistake
as I did, and this guy did apparently.
This guy's one was a catastrophic failure because it led to, and there we go. That's the last one, and then I'll copy the video URL and put it in.
Did you post more images? Because I can only, of course, do one.
Did.
I can only do one at a time, and only the last one.
Well, we can talk about one at a time. So what you're seeing there, so that's the motherboard, that's the socket, right?
Yes,
that's
the socket. This is the socket. Goes.
So as you can see, right, all those pins are fucking cooked, right? That shit is like real cooked. And if you see that some of them are blue, right? Some of those look blue. That is because they have gotten to such a temperature that the metal itself has started changing properties. Have become fucking, I don't know what the correct term for is it, but like, because what had happened, right? And if you switch to the CPU, you can see where on the CPU it looks like, right? And you can
Nretsew. I can only do the last image in the channel. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where the plastic. This is what the little nub, right?
Yeah.
That got crushed, right? And you can see where it's snapped and it's off kilter, right? So yeah. So proper CPU mounting is important, guys. It's very important, right? You gotta make sure you put that in there properly, or you. So how did you fix your problem? How did you?
So what I fixed my problem is because this very nice actually, this image, this knob. Imagine this knob was just crushed all the way down.
Oh,
straight down.
That's not good. Yeah, that's not good.
That's fine, because what I did was just scratch out the crushed bits of plastic. Now the processor has more room to move doesn't matter. I just scooch up the processor all the way up and screw it down, because processors are screwed down quite hard.
Oh my
now
God.
The chip is in the correct place and screwed down. Everything is nice.
Well, as long as it works. As long as it works.
However, but Nretsew,
I mean, yeah.
This wasn't the end of my problems. Because after that, my computer still wouldn't start. I did a memory check. My memories was apparently corrupt and broken. Maybe because I tried too often with the broken CPU and power and whatnot.
Yeah, you have to redo your memory, yeah.
So I bought my new memory, cost a bit, but I did.
Yeah.
I didn't have to buy a new motherboard, which would be even more.
That would have been a real fucking problem.
Yeah.
Also, to answer Sammy's question, so it's not the blue flames. It's like there wasn't blue flaming. It was more like the motherboard pins just got so I could see. Actually, this is a good picture. This one is like a zoomed in one on the pins. I'll send it to you, and you can send it. Because you can only do one at a time.
Yes.
So here's the next. You change it to this one, because this shows you a close up of what I'm talking about. So you see how some of those pins are going they're changing color, right? Like you have the one on the end there that's blue and it has that. That's because the actual metal pin has gotten so hot that it's tempering the metal, right? If you get metal hot enough, it starts changing color. If you've ever seen a stainless steel pan, right, and you get it really, really hot, it starts to change colors and go blue, right? That's what that is, right? It's, yeah.
Also, blue flames aren't necessarily hotter; they're just pure.
It's pure oxygen. Yeah, pure oxygen.
It's. I mean, it will burn hotter, but not necessarily because it's.
Oh yeah, no, it's not oxygen. No, it's because I remember how a Bunsen burner works. It's it's pure fuel.
Yes.
It's pure fuel burning. Yeah. But anyway, so you got new RAM, and
yes, and and still, Nretsew, my computer would go into blue screen, into blue screen, into blue screen. And one other thing, so I narrowed down my problem with my just graphic drivers, which is a little bit of an issue because I have to see to fix my drivers.
Does your CPU have integrated graphics on it?
Yes, a bit, yeah.
Good. Then you could have just plugged your HDMI into your...
yeah, I also did that. I did that too. But you can't go into your NVIDIA without the NVIDIA installed. Driver card installed.
Right. Well, I'm just thinking about how I would have done it, because I would have probably just booted Windows in safe mode and run driver removal tool, and then
in the end I managed to uninstall the driver, reinstall the driver, all nice, all good. No program has closed itself because it got too hot. No, not a single crash. I've been playing Helldivers for a couple hours on end.
Right.
No issues, no troubles, no new blue screen crashes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm spending a lot of time talking about it because this was 5 days of my 2 week
of fucking around. Yeah.
It was.
So it's actually funny because I had a bit of a scare too. So my issue was a little bit different though. So I had turn the computer off, right?
Yes.
And I was going into my room and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot something. I had to do an email thing or whatever. So I come back and I turn the computer on and my desktop's all fucked. All my icons are moved, everything's moved around, something's going, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look and it's like, oh, one of my drives is gone. And I'm like, oh no. I've lost the drive, right? So I go into BIOS and I have a look, and sure enough, yep, the drive is not being detected. And I'm like, shit. So I unplug the drive, I plug it into a different because I just take the SSD out and replace one of my other hard drives with like just swaps. Because I think, right, let's just go through the process of elimination to see if it is actually dead, right? So I unplug it, put it in a different slot. That didn't work. I'm thinking, fuck. So I put it back in, and then I boot back into Windows, and suddenly the drive is alive again.
Hey,
it's working. Everything's fixed. Everything's fine. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, all right, well, first things first, let's back up everything on the drive. Let's back that drive up. And then I went through this process of basically, right, update the BIOS, update the drivers, update everything, right? Because I was talking to our good friend Mandark. You might know, him from
I've
LG.
talked to
I
sometimes.
was talking with Mandark about it. He reckons that it was a PCIe issue.
Yeah,
like something like there was just a one-off fucky wucky PCIe lane error on the motherboard, and that caused it to stop detecting the drive, and it caused a bunch of other really weird problems too, which I think were probably related because the graphics card also uses PCIe, so it's probably why the icons on the desktop were all moved around. Because
that can happen when you just switch around with the resolutions of the screen and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I think happened was like so something that I noticed that was really weird was when I was updating all my drivers, right? I went into my display settings and there was a ghost monitor, Ellie. There was a ghost monitor. My setup is I have two monitors. I have my main monitor that's like a big 1440p, and then I have like a square 2x3 little Philips thing, right? Because I don't have a lot of space where I'm at, so my secondary monitor is just this little square, and I actually like it. I think it's actually a really good setup. I quite like having the little square monitor. So I've gotten used to it now. But there was a third one, and I don't have a third monitor connected out. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it? And I could move things into the third monitor that the computer thinks exists, but it doesn't exist.
That is a weird one.
I was like, what the fuck is that? But after rebooting and doing all the drivers and doing all that, it disappeared. So I was like, what the fuck was that, right? So my issue was not as potentially catastrophic as your one, but it was pretty scary nonetheless. I was like, shit. Everything's been fine since. So.
Yeah, let me just run through a quick other things. Nretsew disaster. This is the most horrible thing that has ever happened to me ever.
Oh no.
Big Kadokawa, the big company, has announced an Isekai crossover game.
Oh no! It's over. Your life is over.
Yes.
It's all over.
Sword Art Online is included in the Isekai crossover game.
Yeah, it's Jover, guys. We lost.
Also, Sharing-La apparently isn't an isekai at all. It's
also, why is Seventh Prince in there? That's also not an isekai.
Yes, it's very weird in general. But Sword Art Online is the one I take offense in this instance.
You know what this? You know what this feels like to me. This feels like you have some like executive or whatever who's like, hey, we want to do this collab with all of our properties. Let's just call it an isekai collab, even though
because like isekais. 4 of them are isekai and 3 of them aren't.
Even the cat one's not an isekai. Well,
yes,
yeah,
the swords.
Because the sword guy, yeah. So technically, it is an isekai, but it's fucking. God damn it! Thanks, Japan. Thanks, Japan.
Yeah.
God.
Disaster. Disaster. Also, Nretsew Switch is getting announced on the next hour.
Yeah. Well, no, it got announced at CES, didn't it? It got shown at CES. We got to see what it looked like at CES, right? We totally got it. Yeah.
Oh, Nretsew, you know the account, of course, Legit Gaming Leaks.
I think so. Yeah, I think I was saying something like that. Yeah.
Did you know that the account Legit Gaming Leaks had announced that the Switch 2 would be announced before releasing?
Yeah.
And the account said, that leak was made like 3 months ago. But the account went back and said, I'm not so sure about this one anymore. That it would be announced before release. Because we have seen a lot of the Switch before this. We know a lot about the Switch 2 before it is announced. So it might just get released before it's announced. Yeah,
I think it is very weird how like Nintendo has just like allowed this to happen.
It's not necessarily allowed. Also, quick Samu, this with all the mobile things, it very much looks to be a gacha game. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Gonna roll for your 6-star 7th Pro.
Yeah.
Wail for the prince. Wail for the prince.
But quick stuff on Switch. Yeah, because the Switch was already meant to be announced, already meant to be shown off. So a lot of companies have models and whatnot, and it's already in production. And it's already
they've made all their cases and their fancy accessories and all.
Yeah, and the Switch 2 exists in a warehouse right this moment.
Yeah, it is a physical thing
in this world. It exists now today, but it's not for sale right now. So people get
you just have to go out there and find
the One Piece.
The one, the ancient One Piece Switch 2. It's out there.
So
it's all yours in the grand line. Okay, alright, I'll stop.
Also, but Nretsew, just for a side note, the idea that you can use a Joy-Con as a mouse.
Oh, that could be cool. That could be interesting.
With Nretsew, I already think, oh damn, if you have like 2 mouses in your hand, right, and you can press buttons at the same time, imagine Nretsew, you have both of them, place on a desk or whatever, on a table, and you can move them forward to engage thrusters.
That would be pretty bad.
And you have a space
scene. Kind of like a... Yeah, it could kind of work, but you'd have to, like... It depends on how you do it, because you'd have to, like... It depends on the game, but a lot of the time you kind of want to have the throttle locked, so it's only 2-axis. So I don't know how you'd manage that, though.
Well, it's just, you move forward and backwards, and there's already, an angle of what is forward, what is back.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about the haptics of it, but no, it doesn't matter. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It could be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So forward, backwards, and you have buttons that you can shoot rockets, and if you a little bit of tank controls, or just a tank battle game with 2 Joy-Cons, left track, right track, turn, cannon, shoot, stuff like that. I see great potential in having a mouse in a Joy-Con. Besides just, suddenly Splatoon 4 will be the most sweatiest game ever with gyro mouse controls. One hand is a mouse, the other is gyro, precise aiming. Anyway, that's my Switch 2 segment real quick.
Yeah. We should probably get cracking because we've been here for 20 minutes.
Yeah, all right,
but there's a lot to talk about though.
Life happens, Nretsew. The last thing, right? Nretsew, I got an SMS. I got a text on my phone.
Oh yeah.
That said, taxes. The tax thing.
Yes.
The tax man said, "Hey. Pay 486 euros before the 9th to avoid stuff being taken." Beslag leggen. Maar goed, that's not an English phrase, so...
Yeah. Basically, give us your money, bitch.
Click here to pay. And was... Oh damn, did I forget to pay something? Wait a minute, this is not a real proper way.
Wait a minute.
It's like,
who are you?
Taxes? I thought I paid the taxes. Damn, maybe I didn't. Oh wait, this looks kind of shady. Let me look. This is the right thing. So I went from alright, where to report cybercrime. And I went to a site that said, hey, here you can report cybercrime, and it's very kind of just lame Nretsew. It's just, hey, somebody tried to cybercrime me. All right, you are now registered for having been tried to cybercrimed. Or that does nothing.
Yeah.
So I went to the police and said, police, somebody tried to cybercrime me. And the police said, oh, sir, that's a serious matter. Fill in this form, and with the number with the number it's done, the site that they tried to get you, what they said, when they did, etc. Did they get something? And I sent it to the police, and the police says, "All right, here's your official statement of a crime." And it went very quickly. It got a bit, administrative updates on the thing. And since Friday, it said all right, we started an investigation, and the day later was investigation is closed. That means they kind of just stop finding the criminals. But Nretsew, it was not for nothing, because the site they tried to get me to is now, if you go onto that site, it said warning, suspected phishing going on this site. So I stopped something. I had an effect on the world. I prevented.
You were a good, upstanding citizen.
I am a good, upstanding citizen. Yeah. Policeman, here's your suspect cybercrime.
Yeah, we get those, because usually down here I've seen a few of them, but they're usually toll roads, which are kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of just the same. Alright, something that you could maybe have not paid, right? That's kind of the deal. Because, you might have forgotten or mistyped something when you did your taxes and paid, not paid. And if you didn't pay your toll road or something.
Yeah. They usually try and make it relevant. I've seen emails that are from they're trying to pretend to be Bunnings, which is a hardware store.
No,
they try and pretend to be Bunnings and be hey, your order at Bunnings has not, whatever, because they want to try and there's always the shipping ones as well, where it's hey, the thing that you shipped is we need you to pay for the thing that you shipped, right? And so there's stuff like that where they're trying to catch people right off guard, right? Like with you and your tax thing, if you hadn't have done your taxes, right? Even though you're a smart cookie, and I don't think you would have fallen for it anyway, there are a lot of people that would have been oh yeah, sure, okay, here's my credit card detail, right? That's usually how it goes. Also, Magician of D showed up. Hello. But anyway, we should probably get. I mean, the video's a little short, but it should be a fun time. Because we might be in 2025, but we have to talk about an anime from 2024, don't we, Ellie? We have to go back in time.
Let me get rid of this stupid isekai, not isekai.
Yeah, stupid isekai thing. Yeah, and our new thing that we can play around with if we need to show things on screen.
Yeah.
Might want to make it. We might need to make that a bit bigger. Maybe make it full size.
So no, I can make it as big as I want, but I didn't didn't want it because I can do all this. Look.
Oh.
But it's
hey, big, yeah. Ooh, spooky.
But
spooky.
I thought just tape it on top of something else. It was kind of part of the theme.
Depends on what we're looking at. Yeah, depends on what we're looking at. But anyway, let's get ready to crack on into it. Just gonna get myself situated here. Right, and then let me. I'm gonna just go right away, because I'm fucking thirsty.
Oh, didn't I?
First crack at 2025.
The names are gone, and also I didn't. Who cares?
Oh no! So this is the Dandadans. We talked about the Dandadans quite a lot last season.
Yeah, it was a very good show.
It was a very good show. But this man here he wasn't excited. We can't see the thumbnail because of the watch together, but he was not excited, Ellie. He was not excited for Dan to Dance.
What did the video say exactly again? Oh yeah, I wasn't excited.
I wasn't excited. Pointing at Dan to Dance.
Red arrow. YouTube.
And it's the problem with watching modern anime, right? So modern anime is a problem. Right, we can't watch the modern anime. So yeah, so this might be an interesting topic to kind of talk about, because we watch modern anime all the time. We have a bunch of modern animes we're going to talk about in a minute. So it's kind of
I've been seasonal watching for a decade more than a decade. Have we covered this guy before? I don't think so.
I do not believe we have. I can bring it up.
Right, so you'll recognize the people.
I do recognize the people, but I'll bring up his channel on my... Oh, is this the guy that did the... Yeah, this is the Dark Side of Japan guy. Remember we did that video where he like did the thing where he like... What was it? It was like nostalgia, and then he's like, "You can never go back." It's that guy.
Nretsew,
it's that guy.
I'm very my amnesiac, my forgetting what we did in the stream.
It's the thing Japan schools anime set in school is bad guy.
Oh, there's something.
It was from like 7 months ago.
Yeah,
we have covered this guy before. Yeah, he did that.
I have to see the video or something, or the.
I'm looking at his channel, and he's got one here that's the Anime Man and Anxiety, a privileged opinion. I'm gonna add that to the list because that sounds fucking hilarious.
Alright, you're making me go mute and go quickly to his channel to see if I can remind myself of what we talked about.
Yeah, no, it was the it was Dark Side of Japan, Japan's obsession with high school anime, etc. I was actually rewatching that stream because someone brought up that video on Twitter, and I was like rewatching some of that stream to kind of. So it's ironic. It's actually really coincidental that we're covering the same guy again. Oh, that's great. Yeah, the rest of his videos don't seem too bad, but he's got
He says the reason why there's so many isekais. I might watch it.
Isekai killed. What good fantasy looks like? Isekai killed fantasy anime. These two saved it. Yeah.
Is Freeman one of them? Because Freeman saved Isekai. Alright. Or saved fantasy, I guess.
Yeah, and Dungeon Meshi, yeah.
The
art of anime fans. That time 4chan took over this cute anime.
Yeah,
but no, it was we covered the Dark Side of Japan video.
No. Because
he
I could do the same video twice because I don't remember them at all.
Yeah, this is why I'm here. I have to help Alzheimer's man here. Fucking remember what we've done. Oh god. But anyway, let's see what he has to say. Maybe he's changed since even. Maybe he's gotten better. Maybe has he cited his sources? Because that was the problem when he did it the first time. He didn't cite his fucking sources. That was the first problem.
It's always a problem when you talk about societal things.
Nope. I'm not seeing any citations. Nope.
No.
Rip.
Press play, Nretsew.
Hopefully he doesn't say anything, but let's see. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Is an anime that's currently airing that's taking the world by storm. Everyone and their mother is watching it. Quite literally, they are. Your favorite AniTuber is probably...
Wait, what was that? Is his mum watching?
Everyone and their mother is watching it. Quite
Is the dub voice actor for Okaru, and I just thought this was really sweet.
That doesn't really count. If your mother is watching your performance, is that mother's watching? Or is
that actually watching? Is that your mum goes to like your theater performance in school? Does that mean that she's
watches your action movies? If you're a big actor, does it then mean that she likes big action movies, or does she want to see precious son being Iron Man or whatever?
Yeah. I'm kind of that's a bit. Yeah. But anyway, let's keep going. See what he's gonna say.
Literally, they are. Your favorite AniTuber is probably freaking out about it. Reddit and Twitter are probably memeing the fuck out of every screen cap of the anime they find even remotely funny. And while it is an amazing anime, I have one problem with it. And this problem has less to do with Dandadan as an anime.
Alright, Nretsew, can you pause real quick before he's going to move off Dandadan? Nretsew, what is your opinion on reactors being AniTube?
I would not consider them AniTube. I don't consider so. It's kind of ironic considering the content that we do, but I guess we do content besides just the React segments, right? And we're reacting less to the anime itself and more to the whatchamacalls it, the anime stuff, like, because it depends on what you're defining as like reaction channels, right? Like Samu says in the chat, right? Because I think that there are some reaction channels that I wouldn't classify as being AniTubers purely because they are like they react to everything, right? And they just like, it's not reacting to anime specifically. It's not specifically about anime. It's just anime happens to be the specific thing that they're reacting to that day, so that they can get their video per week out to algorithm or whatever, right? So I wouldn't count those necessarily as AniTube. But if you're talking about, like, I don't know, manga chapter like react / analysis videos, I think that could count as AniTube. And like episode like discussion type reactions, right?
Yeah,
where
episode,
like what we do at the end of our thing, right? Where it's like, oh, we'll recap the episode a little bit, and then we'll talk about, what we thought about it, where we think it's going, right? That kind of discussion type content, I think, could be classified as AniTube. But when it's like just pure reaction content, I'm a bit on the fence about it.
I'm as a quick meetup criteria thing on AniTube is to have something of a kind of an input into the community, in something that builds on the community knowledge or experience, right? Reaction channels don't really build a shared knowledge base in a community, right? They are kind of just, they're watching a show together. They are not necessarily going to discuss the show with you in that sense. I mean, at the end of the episode, they might do some Patreon long things. But the videos themselves are not AniTube. You can make them AniTube. You can style them to be AniTube, but reactions in of themselves are not AniTube. They have to, I feel like, bring something to AniTube community, and I don't feel they are doing that as much.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with you. I think it does sort of depend on the type of content and the type of YouTuber, and what they're doing.
Because I discovered Pause and Select, big friends of the channel, Joe, because he did like a reaction of Overlord, but instead of talking about how hype what the thing that Ainz was doing, he talked about, oh damn, the camera angle signifies that the opposition is high and mighty on top of the mountain they are standing on. But when Ainz is coming into frame, suddenly that high and mountain that the antagonist was standing on is now shown to be a 2-degree inclination instead. That shows that for this character, the antagonist was on a big hill, but for Ainz is barely higher up. And actually equal, because in reality he's standing on something higher, but in relationship it's doesn't matter.
Mm.
And you know, with smart sounding stuff like that, oh, that the Joe guy, he's smart. And so I was started following him and, you know, chatting up and whatnot. That is to me more AnyTube-ish than reaction. Oh, Ainz is creating a black hole to suck an angel in.
Yeah. Yo, did you see that? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is
nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, cool.
And there's nothing to that's not to detract, right, from cool. If something cool happens on screen, I will point to say that was very cool.
I think there's like a whole other discussion we could have about the value of like React content, because I'm a bit, you know, there's a few things I could probably say about it, but I feel like we should loop back into the like Dan to Dan discussion.
Yeah,
specifically.
I was just this was
because our man brought up like a point about, you know, everyone like was hype about Dan to Dan, right? And I do think there is some validity to that. Dan to Dan was quite like big at the time. It was talked about quite a lot. Lots of YouTubers were putting content out about it. I mean, we have like 3 or 4 Dan to Dan videos in the fucking queue.
Yeah, well, I deleted one of them because it was not suited.
Yeah. There was a few of them in the queue just because we had like a bunch of people had put out Dan to Dan related videos, right? So it's kind of like definitely it kind of captured the zeitgeist. And it was one of those things where, like, because I'd heard about Dan to Dan as a manga before the anime, and because I watched some guy had a video about Dan to Dan as a manga that I watched, and I was like, yeah, no, this is gonna be big. Like, I think you can tell, right? Like, Chainsaw Man was another one where I was like, yeah, I think this is gonna be big. I think people are gonna be into this, right? So. Yeah, but you know, let's see where the guy's going with this. How's this a problem? That's what I'm.
Yeah.
What's the problem here? So let's find out.
How we as modern people watch anime and how we kind of suck at talking about it. Let me explain. If you watch my video about high school and anime.
Hey, look at this! The video we watched.
Was this the video or was it?
This is the exact video we watched. We watched the Japanese obsession with high school. Yeah, this is the exact one we watched.
Oh yeah,
it's like we're doing a sequel. It's literally the sequel. It's literally the sequel. We're doing the sequel. Oh, that's great. All right. Well, let's go.
Anime, which you really should if you haven't already. It's my most viewed video yet. In the intro of that video, I said that I was 25 this year, soon to be 26, which puts my birthday roughly around the late 90s. And I like to refer to the people born in and around this time period as the bridge generation. This is the generation that grew up enjoying some of the analog technology from the late 90s, but we didn't get to enjoy them too long as everything switched to digital come the 2000s. For example, I actually had a digital MP3 player growing.
This man is making me feel old because I'm about the same about the same age as this man. I'm kind of making me feel very old.
This stuff, right? I have an issue with coining the term bridge generation because this already exists. Somebody already has written a thing about this. And instead of you know looking, oh, has somebody smarter than me, more educated than me, said something about this?
Yeah, and extrapolated,
and have some actual data and whatnot. But no, let me think of something myself and introduce it. So it's kind of that's kind of the shame.
Because I mean I get where he's coming from because I've lived this, right, because back when I was like I was watching VHSs as a kid, right, and for a long time, like it's interesting how he says like the early 2000s, like because New Zealand was kind of a bit behind, or also because of the socio-economic factors I found myself in. Like we were using VHSs right up to like 2006, 2007, right? Like we didn't get a DVD player until like quite late in the game, right? So And I know, and you know, he's talking about having like one of these little USB MP3 player things. I also had one of these, like, not a USB one like that, but like I still have it somewhere. My little nugget, my little 4 GB nugget that I put all my music on and listen to.
I had the 246. No, not 64. 264 MB MP3 player. Because that was the
nugget.
maximum size that you could really have at that time.
Yeah, so it will be interesting. I'm interested to see where he's going with this because I'm not quite sure how this is like. Because is he going to make a point about nostalgia or something? Like, let's see. Let's let him cook. Let's let him cook.
Growing up, but my very middle-class family had a car with a cassette player in it. 2.9% of my audience are Zoomers. I wonder if they even know what the fuck these things are.
Well, don't worry, man. I know what they are, and I remember cassette players and all that.
I mean, people know what a floppy disk is, even though if they never used one. People know what a typewriter is. People know what a ruler is, a algros is, even if they don't know what the thing with all the color.
I mean, to be fair, I do think Zoomers have become quite tech illiterate, based on experiences I've heard about, and like. There are people, Ellie, that don't understand how files work. They just don't understand how to move files around and how to organize your computer.
Yeah, that's
files.
maybe no.
They do, and they do. Yeah, they just don't get it. And part of that I think is because they're growing up on iPads and they're growing up on like stuff that doesn't really utilize file structures that much.
Mm-hmm.
So then because full mutual friend who's been on the show before back in the past, but he hasn't come on again. But he was telling me about how like he's he works in a college professor role, right? And he teaches stuff, right? He's encountered like college students that don't know how to use files on Windows. And I'm like, holy shit, how the fuck?
Yeah, but isn't he like US?
But I think I personally, well, let me finish. I'll let you go. I personally think that is a failing of the education system, right? I think that if you go to like in primary school when I was a kid, we did like IT class, right? We did like. You're gonna learn how file structures work. You're gonna learn at the very least how to navigate Windows, right? How to actually
how do you open Word and type things in Word?
How to use Word, like basic bit shit, right? Like, but so I have to wonder if that's just not happening anymore, right? Is that just not a thing that's going on where you have IT class where kids,
This is wide society. This is big society, right? But I get the impression that because Fallo's in the United States, right?
Yeah, he's American.
Yeah, that's kind of education, and you could homeschool your kids at any point.
And this man is American too, so it kind of,
Yeah, but if you can just put in America, if homeschooling is so easy to say, I'm going to homeschool right now. Then that kid is going to miss out on a bunch of education stuff.
Well, I don't know if that's the problem, but like, there's definitely some weird like curve shit going on with tech literacy. But that's getting a bit off topic. So let's see what man's got to say. Let's see what's all this generational talk got to do with anime watching.
And in terms of anime, it is a whiplash of emotions watching episodes of illegally uploaded anime on early YouTube that was split up into 20 different parts to avoid copyright, to legal websites like Crunchyroll and Netflix. But
is he gonna start simping for Crunchyroll and Netflix? Please don't. I saw a funny what was it? I saw some like news article about how there's a pirate site that was unnamed that is getting more traffic than fucking Netflix and Crunchyroll and Amazon and all of the legal sites combined. Like, it's getting like 300 million fucking clicks per month or week or whatever. And then you have Crunchyroll only getting like 150 or something, right? And it's like, but here's the thing, right? Because he talks about, you're watching anime on your like fucking YouTube 440p. I was watching on fucking one of those pirate site places back in the day. I can't remember what one it was, but it was one that had like Naruto theming all over it, right? Like I wasn't watching pirated anime on YouTube in like 50 billion parts. I never did that. Like I kind of jumped that step because didn't need to. I could just go watch it on on the pirate site, the streaming sites I was using at the time. There's no way it would be taken down by now. Well, I don't know, Samu, because like they didn't name what site it was in the article. Like they just said that there was apparently, like, I don't know how true it is, but the accusation is that there's apparently some anime piracy site that's getting shitloads of fucking clicks. But yeah, I think he's kind of like overstating it a little bit, right? He's kind of overstating the whiplash, I guess, of like legal streaming showing up. And because I didn't pay for Crunchyroll, but I did use the free version of Crunchyroll for a while, right? And then I realized I could get a better service if I just fucking torrented. So then I started torrenting, right?
Nretsew, spoilers for like in 2 hours, 5 hours. I started watching a show, and it's on Netflix, and I discovered, hey, the next episode I was on Netflix from because I discovered the show was on Netflix. Here's the next episode out on Netflix. It is right now. Let me watch that episode right now on Netflix.
Well, I watched Dan to Dan on Netflix because it was on Netflix.
Yeah, because it's easy and
because it's convenient, right? Yeah. And I was going to get into that because like the issue with piracy, as Gabe Newell has always said, it's a service and availability issue, right? Is the service better than the pirates, right? And Crunchyroll is just flat out not good, right? We've already we had our little rant about that when we covered that article a while ago about like the Glassdoor reviews and all that kind of shit from Crunchyroll, and how Crunchyroll, like the right stuff takeover and all that kind of stuff. Like Crunchyroll is just a bad fucking website. It is a bad service. Like they got caught fucking throttling their bit rates and all this other shit, right? If you give money to Crunchyroll, you're quite frankly a retard, right? You shouldn't do that. And the thing is, the only reason I've got Netflix is because I get it for free on my internet plan. My internet plan gives you a Netflix subscription for free, right? So I'm paying for it through my internet plan, basically, right? So if I'm getting it for free, I might as well use it.
Yeah.
Right? So if something's on Netflix and I can watch it on Netflix, then all right, sure, I'll watch fucking Dan to Dan on Netflix instead of, it's not any less convenient for me to go and find like a torrent somewhere, right? But if it's whatever the path of least resistance is usually the path that people take, right? So I think that if these services offered, I guess, better service, right, it would probably lead to a downtick in the amount of piracy that's going on, right?
Yeah, and therefore, because YouTube watching a show on parts, because I did that a little bit, like in 3 parts stuff.
Classic. Yeah.
Classic. And watching on Netflix isn't that much of a difference, really. So he's overselling a little bit the great generational change in that. My experience in watching a show is not changed since I started, because it's always been on the PC. I want to watch show, I go to place to watch show, I watch show. And that's about it.
Alrighty. Well, let's see what he's got to say about it.
Watching anime during this period was difficult enough. Talking about it was even harder. Because if you wanted to talk to another person about anime,
there it is.
I see I know what we're doing now. We're doing the whole and no one liked anime. Oh no, I was a teenager and I liked anime and no one else liked the thing that I liked. Oh, whoa, no. Yeah. All right. I was there too. I had that experience too, buddy, when I was a dumbass kid. And it's kind of funny because it's funny because back then I was like, man, I wish more people were into the thing that I was into so I could talk about it with people. And now I'm like, no, stay the fuck away from the thing that I like.
The thing is, Nretsew, this experience.
I've done like a complete 180.
But Nretsew, the truth is, Nretsew, the children of today are feeling the same feelings you had back then.
Yeah, but probably with different things. And like, I think the issue is, right, a lot of people don't get that the quality of the person that you get into anime is worth more than the quantity, right? I would rather have, well, kind of what ended up happening when I was in high school. I would rather have my close-knit 2 or 3 bros, you know, or whatever, that I can talk to about anime shit with, right? Than have an entire anime club of like 20 people that are all into anime, right? I would rather have that close-knit, these guys actually get it, are actually anime fans, I can actually have intelligent conversations with them, versus an entire room of people that are allegedly anime fans, but some of them are probably just not as invested in it as, you know, I am or the mates are, right? So I think that's kind of a bit of a problem with this, is like, yeah, sure. When you're a kid and you're in a situation where, especially back then when we didn't have the internet, or if you did have the internet, you weren't like a lot of the time, like you weren't clued into places like internet forums or 4chan or, you know, other places like that, right? You were on your own basically.
Yeah,
I can understand. I can understand the feeling of isolation and whatnot, and wanting to share your hobby and share your excitement with stuff. But now that I've grown out of that, it's just like you ever see those memes where it's like the curve, and you have like the dumb guy on one end, and then you have like the soy jack at the top who's like, you know, crying or whatever. He's like screeching. He's like a midwit, and then you have like the old sage, right? I've gone through that, right? I was the dumbass kid who's like, man, I really want more people into my anime, right? And then I've gone up to the top of the curve, and it's like, man, all these people are into anime now. God, but they're all retarded. Fuck. And then I've gone down to the other end of the curve. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. We only need to have a few people that are into anime, not all of them.
Oh no, Nretsew, right? The meme is that you're
I know,
run back to the same opinion.
Yeah, I'm getting it wrong. Yeah, I'm getting it wrong. But it's like, yeah, I'm getting it wrong. But it's that's kind of where I'm at with this, right? Is I feel like you should, instead of trying to cast the wide net, you should be fishing with a rod, right? You should be trying to find people that actually legitimately are invested in anime and form communities around that, instead of this idea that, oh no, we have to let everyone in, right? Let all of the people in, right? It's like, no, that never works. It's not good. Well, I've had my rant. Let's see where he goes.
Yeah.
Only had the choice of going to an anime convention and physically talking to other weebs there, or by going to a
he describes them as weebs, yes.
A really sketchy forum website that you swear will give you a virus.
Macaroni with chicken strips?
But now you don't really have this. A lot of YouTubers have their own Discord servers for their fans to gather and interact with. Reddit and Twitter are open.
Never join a YouTuber Discord server, guys. You're gonna get groomed. Don't fucking do it.
Well, I kind of do. Well, not really. I have joined.
I'm half memeing.
Nah, I go serious into that. That's my enjoyment out of it. Well, Nretsew, I did join the pause and select server, kind of, because Joe isn't the admin of the server. Of his server, so it's somebody else's server that Joe is just
hanging out. He's hanging out.
Yes.
Hanging out. Yeah.
So no, I have not. Besides a gaming YouTube group channel thing, but you know, I did actually send
I think the issue is like, Yeah, this want for community. Yeah, it's hard for me because I don't have the same kind of like. I think it's maybe because I'm introverted, right? I don't have that same kind of like. I need to be in a community. I need to be surrounded by people. I need to have people all around me. I'm like, no, fuck off, leave me alone. Right? Like,
Nah,
I don't feel the need to join a community for stuff, right? I don't feel that, right?
Nah,
You know?
the reason why I joined at least the gaming stuff, right, was more like, hey, I'm kind of in my palette of social online experience. I'm kind of missing a real gaming outlet, right? Those guys, I watch them somewhat. Let me join their YouTube thing, their Discord thing. I know it's fine enough, and I talked. They're not often said such a high and mighty that they don't talk to the regular white named people in the server. So
yeah, goddamn white names got to get back in line. But kind of going back to this because he's talking about like Reddit and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's fine if you're like passively like because I don't go on anime Reddit a lot or whatever, but I'll go on Reddit for other things to get information on certain things, like GFL, right? Like I'll go on the GFL to Reddit or whatever to like see some memes or see if there's any information on this doll is good, this doll isn't. Oh, you should roll on this. More information's always good, right? But in terms of like actual community interaction, I don't do that almost at all. I don't like actually interact with a community, right? So I'm kind of like, I guess I'm kind of weird in that respect that I don't see value and I don't like give enough of a shit to want to
I'm mostly the same, but I'm mostly the same, but I do like, I guess, if I want to talk about games and Switch leaks and whatnot, Nretsew, you don't have a Switch.
So, no, I don't.
And if I want to go into the real details of what this patent means or whatnot, I have to talk to somebody, and I'll join that server then, I guess. And the Joe pause and select guy is smart. I want to see what a guy like him talks about or whatever, and then. Oh, cool! And now, this is a small detail of the thing. What the things I did in the vacation. For do you know what a surprise is?
No.
In relation to Sinterklaas?
Fuck. No, you'll have to refresh my memory.
Alright.
It's been a while.
So, you get presents as a child from Sinterklaas.
Mm-hmm.
But as adults, you do surprises. And it is, somebody wants something. But then what you do is, you wrap the gift in an elaborate craft. And then you attach a poem. And that poem kind of stabs you, like, you, kind of, pokes at you a little bit. At the other person, right? So, but, from, you have a new house, hi in Amsterdam, watch out for the riots, etc.
Yeah. Watch out for the riots. Yeah.
Because you're such an watch out for the riots. I know you'll be leading. Watch out for the riots. The police will bash your head in and you recognize them too because the person is employed by the city, but also does some protests once in a while. So poking a little bit, get some recent news in, etc., the good stuff. My surprise, I got a poem, I got whatever. I got some good old academic stuff.
Oh, yeah?
I got the Moe Manifesto. I have the Anime Machine. I have the Soul of Japan.
Oh.
Nice. Did I forget someone? something the history of media theory in animation and whatnot. So Nretsew, I can pull out my big boy books about big philosophy and social and whatnot on the animes these days.
Very good. But so anyway.
Yeah, side note.
Open forums for anyone to discuss in. Fucking amino is still a thing, somehow. It's never been easier to connect with your fellow degenerate weeb. But there kinda lies my problem.
Yeah, I really fucking hate the irony shit. My fellow degenerate weebs. Like, God, fuck off.
I know, I have to admit, so I know this background music from... Oh no, now I know. This is 2 Crowns.
Oh no.
It's been it's been bothering me since it played. I wasn't even really listening.
But no, I just again I don't like the self-deprecation.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking dumb. Like, you don't have to self-deprecate yourself. Like, who are you trying to impress, right? Like, who are you trying to impress by going, oh yeah, my fellow degenerate weebs. I'm such a degenerate weeb. I love my hentai animes and look, guys, I'm so unthreatening, right?
Sorry, now chat said that I'm a little bit louder than usual, so I can turn myself a little bit down.
Okay. Yeah. We'll figure it out. But like, no, it's yeah, no, I just hate it. I don't want to like rant on it every time it happens because it's like it gets annoying. But it's because so many people fall into that trap. They fall into that trap of feeling like they need to be self-deprecating to appear like, I don't know. I guess it's because they don't want to appear like they want to seem like they understand that the stuff that they. But even then, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. But anyway, let's continue.
Problem with watching modern anime, and by extension, how I experienced Dandadan. Because while it's easy to connect with people now, there is a shit ton of noise. Noise is a term from communication studies that's defined as the influencers on effective communication that affect the interpretation of conversations. In caveman brain speak, noise is basically the physical or emotional tics that come from the world and people around you that can affect how you understand a conversation. Think of a long game of telephone with you at the very end. Obviously, by the time the message reaches you, it's completely changed meaning, either because someone up the chain wasn't paying attention, or just didn't really care to get the message right. This is how noise can affect the message of a conversation. And in the online anime sphere, there is a lot of noise. Making generalized statements about how amazing an anime is going to be is part and parcel of the online weeb identity. When was the last time you were on Reddit or Twitter and you didn't see someone?
I guess.
No.
Look. Yeah. Look, listen. I have a very easy solution to this problem, Ellie. Do you want to hear it? It's called ha ha ha. How the fuck is cyberbullying real? Ha ha ha. Just turn off the fucking screen. right. Like, look, I get, but look, okay. Jokes aside, I get it. Right? You go on Twitter, right, or you go on wherever, right. And you're just bombarded with all this noise, right? You're bombarded with people talking about stuff. Someone will post like some clip from the show that's like a spoiler or whatever, or someone will fucking like, post some whatever stuff about something, or they'll be hyping up whatever manga, or they'll be getting into like arguments with people, right? Like, but the easy way to just solve that problem is to just like just ignore it. Which I know sounds like kind of like a non-answer to the problem, but when I encounter stuff like that, I'm just like, keep scrolling. Where's my hentai? I'm looking for my hentai. I want to retweet my fucking hentai. I want to retweet my fucking hentai. I don't give a fuck. So, sword man shit post, whatever, right? I don't fucking care. I'm just give me my hentai, right?
So Nretsew, can you go back to the definition, because his problem seems to be just clickbaiting and alright, a little bit early still. It was
a little bit behind. Hang on.
Noise.
Telephone. He was talking about telephone.
Caveman.
All right. Okay, here we go. All right, hang on.
That affect the interpretation.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah. Communication noise. Yeah.
It refers to the influences on effective communication, on influence on effective communication that influence the interpretation of a conversation. First off, this doesn't say anything about positive or negative effects, right?
No.
It's pure neutral. Also, are tweets communication? No, are they conversations? Are tweets conversations?
Yeah, that's part of the problem. I was going to one of my pathways in life was going into communication studies, but I didn't end up taking that, obviously. So I didn't end up doing that. But I will go on Twitter right now. Oh, look, that's some nice lewds. I'll retweet that if you follow me on Twitter. Just as giving me an excuse. Okay, so there's a meme. Keep scrolling. People talking about the Los Angeles wildfires. Fucking feel for you guys, by the way, over there. That shit's fucking devastating. But everyone talking about, the police chief was some LGBT whatever. Oh, it's that VR chat girl that does cute little animations. I'll retweet that. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of there's a lot of noise, but what I do is I just keep scrolling, right? I just keep scrolling, just keep, see something I like, retweet. Oh look, that's a dumb meme. Yeah. I don't necessarily have a problem, right? And I mean, because you're well notorious, Ellie, for curating your feeds, right? Nuking VTubers from your feeds, nuking certain things from your feeds, right? You are doing exactly what people should be doing, right? They should be curating their feeds, right? I think part of the problem is people don't want to take the responsibility of curating their feeds themselves.
Nretsew, I do have to say something on that, right? Twitter just keeps filling my feed with garbage every single time.
But that's because Twitter's yeah, I know, right? I get that.
Just all right, a complete tangent, but allow me for a second, right? Nretsew, I have a Blue Sky account, right? It's a lot quieter, but I've kind of I still have Twitter on the side because that has news stuff and accounts that I follow that aren't on Blue Sky, so I kind of use both the same. I use Twitter still a lot more than Blue Sky, but that's only because Twitter has 20 tweets that are garbage, clickbait, engagement bait, advertisement, whatever, that are in between the stuff that I actually want. Well, Blue Sky, I am done within 5 minutes, but in those 5 minutes, I have everything that I see is something that I am at least interested in, something that I want. So Twitter may have my engagement, have my ad view time sky high, but I hate it every single time. While on Blue Sky, I am there for 5 minutes, maybe, but my 5 minutes are well spent, and I wish there was more stuff there in that sense.
Well, I think part of that is just the difference in because I know Blue Sky doesn't really have an algorithm per se for the following tab. I think the Discover tab has an algorithm, but you can easily kind of curate your feed pretty easily. But again, I'm not going to get into a debate about what service is better, because that's not really what this is about. What it is about is you have a choice, right? You control the pixels on your screen, right? You have the ability to say, I don't want to go on Twitter. I'm not going to go on Twitter. I don't want to go on Reddit. I don't want to go on Reddit, right? I could just you can just not look at it, right? You don't have to be plugged in all the time. Right?
I do want to say, Nretsew, because you say we do this every now and again. Twitter does make it very difficult to control what you see.
Well, it depends on what you do. I mean, my lewd list is pretty clean, so it's not too different. But look, anyway. As I'm saying, I feel like the Sky is kind of the responsibility is at the end of the day on you. Right, to curate your own experience, and no matter how hard or difficult that is, depending on what site you're using. right?
Yeah, but it eventually is not worth the effort. If I curate, if I can, when I go on my blocking spree and I just block everybody that I see, that I'm just mildly, if it's just slightly out of line and I block them, my feed for that day is perfect, brilliant. But the next day it's filled with another category of things that I don't care about. It's a massive pain.
Well, I think part of this is like I'm not gonna like disagree with you that algorithms are trash and we need to completely kill algorithms. Like I'm not gonna fucking I'm not gonna like disagree with you. I'm just like yeah. Your Twitter has been created to perfection for hentai. You're far surpassed the normal Twitter account. Maybe. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's perfect. I do still see a bunch of like those dumb meme accounts that are just reposting the same videos over and over again and whatever. Like it's not, but I just ignore them. Like I just ignore it. Like I just tune it out. I just scroll past it. I don't fucking interact with it. Right? Like that's how I solve that problem. So maybe I'm just better at like filtering the noise or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to jump back to where we were.
Yeah, that was was going to say. Because
there we go.
back on video, Nretsew, noise is not really what he says it is, because noise is neutral, it's just regular interpretation of the thing.
Yeah.
It's not tweets.
So let's see how he's going to tie it together. I'm interested to see how he's going to tie it together.
And chime into a discussion by saying that anime will be saved when this popular action shonen gets adapted in 5 years. Or how all waifus are inferior when this obscure character from an even more obscure manga arrives in anime form. And these are innocent enough comments.
Quick. Is he not noising his communication up? Because if somebody says anime is saved because this manga is very good, can you not interpret it as I am very excited for when it gets an anime because this manga is very popular and therefore is guaranteed to be an anime?
This is getting adapted by Mappa. I fucking love Mappa. Anime is saved,
But also this manga does something that you don't see very often, and it's
interesting.
Guaranteed to get an anime, and when it is get an anime, it will get a larger audience and have more people interested, and blah blah blah. Isn't he just implying the most?
Again, he hasn't really tied it into like a problem yet. He's just kind of saying this is like what is
annoying.
Happening. And I agree, like. Yeah, he's like, and I get it, right? I get it. Like, listen, this is why I don't fucking interact with communities, because I find people annoying, so I don't fucking interact with them. But anyway, let's see what he's got to say.
But when it's chronic, it makes it hard to have a meaningful discussion. A good example of this is JJK. The manga is ending soon, but half of the conversation about its ending is talking about how good Kagurabachi is and why to not even bother with JJK at this point. It's this.
Yep. Listen. Random fucking anons on the internet are random anons on the internet. Why do you give a fuck about what they have to say about literally anything, right? It's like what I was saying before, right? I would rather, like Allie, I give a fuck about what you have to say about anime, right? Because we're bros. And if you come to me and you say, hey, Nretsew, I'm watching this like anime and it's fucking based, right?
It's about orbs.
It's about orbs. Yeah, I fucking love orbs. Orbs are cool, right? Listen, you gotta watch this anime about orbs, right? I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna go, all right, I'll take that recommendation into account because I trust you. I trust your opinion on it, right? And I have like a few other people that I'm like, I talk with, Full, and I have been talking with Lollydom. Don't know if he's going to make a comeback on the cast, but he is he is coming back slowly. He might return one day. I've been talking with him, right? I've been talking with, but I have a group of people, right, that I talk to, and I'm like, we all trust our opinions on things, and we can talk about anime and have actual meaningful, discussions about it, right? I don't go to Reddit or Twitter or fucking wherever to talk to random people who I've never met in my life, who I have no fucking connection to and don't know anything about them, to get opinions on fucking anime, right? I don't do that. I'm not... it doesn't matter. Who cares if some guy is like, man, Jujutsu Kaisen sucks. This new thing, this new whatever Shonen Jump thing with the samurai man with the sword, that's super cool. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, man, it's good. It fucking owns JJK, man. It fucking owns. It's like, who cares? So what? Just fucking block him. just whatever. Who cares?
Yeah,
like,
and there's
Go find people that actually give a fuck about JJK and talk to them about it. I don't fucking know, right? Like, don't just whatever.
I'm kind of, if he's going to tie this, I assume he's going to tie this back to noise, but noise is about conversations, and he's not really having. If they are not having a conversation, then you are not having a conversation.
Yeah, I don't think seeing a random post on Reddit is a conversation.
I don't think that you can just apply a random phrase, a term in communications to...
Lolly will return when normalities comes back. Don't bring that evil upon us. Oh no. But anyway, I don't. Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah.
This kind of noise that I call the next.
Fuck off.
Did I say not that he's going to bring back noise?
No. It was that sound effect.
Oh, sorry.
Fucked my ears. You use that like scratch sound effect. It's like
digital.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why, but like when that came through my headphones, it like my ears. Ow. Sometimes having autism is not fun, guys. But anyway.
Big thing situation. The internet is going to tell you to be excited for the next big thing when the previous big thing hasn't even ended yet. The moment a popular anime is approaching its end, half of the internet is already talking about what other anime is going to replace it. There's no downtime between anime, no time to appreciate, process, and mourn the story you just witnessed. It's just a constant state of hype for the next big thing.
I feel like that's a community problem. Like that's if you give too much of a fuck about what random people think problem. Again, like
I feel this is a problem for a couple of groups, right? But for in different ways and in different amounts for those different groups, right? Let's first off, Nretsew, the content creator.
Yes.
They are dependent.
I have to make my living on YouTube. I need to make sure I tap into that next big thing, right? I gotta hype something up so that I can make content about it, right? Have to, I get you.
Yeah, so that's like group one that is concerned with the big thing out of maybe even just financial reasons. Group two, Nretsew, the community of the new thing. They are invested and excited for the new thing. They are not excited for the old thing because they were never into the old thing to begin with.
So,
and
I think
third group, Nretsew, people who watched the old big thing but fell off somewhere part through.
Right.
They are no longer hyping up the current big thing because they dropped off for whatever reason. Therefore, they are gone from this conversation, from this hype noise. But the new group is gathering steam. They are now overtaking the old group who lost like 2/3 of their starter base.
So using your framing, right, I think the issue here is homogenizing the anime community, right?
Yes.
Like, I always use quotation marks. Like, imagine I've got my fingers in the ear and I'm doing that thing where you
Dr. Evil
quotations. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. You can't see it, but I'm doing it, right? The anime community, right? Homogenizing the anime community into a singular entity is a big problem.
Creating the monolith.
Creating the monolith. Yeah, because I've talked about this before, but so I'll just reiterate this again, right? I view the anime community quotations as a series of tribes. You have a series of these little isolated little tribes in a country, right? And we're all in our little mud huts, right? We all have our little little groups, right? Like you have the shonen mud hut, where you have all the shonen people that like shonen. You have the shoujo mud hut. You have the yuri and the yaoi mud hut, right? Everyone's in their little tribes, and every now and then there'll be a little bit of movement between the tribe, like that people will jump from one tribe to another, or there'll be some intermingling between the tribes every now and then. But for the most part, these tribes are actually like separate entities that should actually be considered separate entities, right? And not part of a massive collective, because there's often a lot of infighting and no, fuck you, I don't like your shoujo bullshit, you girl anime, ooh, icky, right? Shonen fans, it'll be like that, right? Or you'll have your guys oh, your shonen is just dumb.
Your shonen... No brain, that brain.
No brain, same plot every fucking show, blah blah blah, right? So yeah, thanks Fivo, the anime community, right? So when you homogenize all of these different like cultures, because they are cultures almost, right? They're almost their own cultures, right? You try and homogenize all of these cultures into a singular entity. It doesn't fucking work. It just doesn't work. They're too different from each other to talk about it as if it's like just a collective. Like the shonen people, right, that are going off about like, oh, this shonen and Shonen Jump is like rising through the ranks. It's becoming the next big thing. It's super big. We should all check it out, right? We're going to move away from like My Hero Academia that just ended, right? Like the manga just ended, right? We're going to move to this new thing, right? Because that's the thing that's getting popular in Japan right now with the rankings or whatever, right? Like those guys doing that is completely fucking separate to like us watching like, I don't know, some shoujo anime or whatever and having a fun time talking about it, right? Like it's completely separate things. So when you homogenize it into like, oh, the entire anime community is talking about this next big thing, it's not actually the entire anime community, it's that Pacific tribe, right? And you could even like get even more into the grains, right? And say that the My Hero Academia tribe is different to the Bleach tribe. That's different to the Naruto tribe. That's different to like the fan bases of these shows. All could be considered their own tribes.
The episode reviewers versus the reaction channels versus the essay writers and the clickbait hype moments channels.
Yeah, they're all different tribes in their little mud huts. And every now and then they'll toss shit at each other, or they'll like intermingle. Yeah, they toss shit at each other, or they'll like inbreed with each other or whatever, and create new tribes for fucking weird ass shit, right? So that's how I view the anime community, quotation marks. I don't view it as this like homogenous hive mind of people that all think the same, all talk about the same things, all like have the same opinions on things, or like maybe not all the same, but like the same conversations about things, right? I view it as like, no, you have to look at it granularly. You have like the guys that are into like military stuff, right? Like military otaku are not the same as the guys that are into like, you know, fucking some shoujo romance yaoi whatever fucking thing, right? It's not the same kinds of people, right? And I think we need to like people, anime essayists, Mr. Video Man, right? Talking to you directly, right? Or talking to anime essayist mans, right? You guys gotta fucking understand this and stop pushing this like homogenization of the community, right? Because I actually think it's way more interesting to like dive into like the granularity of it and be like, okay, what makes the My Hero Academia community tick, right? What makes the shonen people tick? Why do they like the shows that they like compared to other communities, right? How do they behave online versus other communities? I think there's interesting things that could be gone into here, right? But don't get gone into because everyone just views it all as like one giant tent, right? But anyway, yeah, that's my rant. I don't know if you've got anything to add to
that. Not necessarily, because Samu interested me. A cannibalizing competition gacha or anime? So this is a kind of a difficult question, Nretsew. So the gacha community will just move on very quickly, right?
Well,
but also they're very organized, so they might just very efficiently divide up the meat among their weaker gacha games and eat them first.
You can't do videos, right? You told me you can't do videos.
Yeah.
But I have a video.
Oh no.
Because this was on the. Ironically, it was. I'll put it in cast text, not the images for streams, because you said you don't want to put videos in that. This was a video that was on the Reddit for GFL the other day, and it's very relevant to this conversation because it's
right. One moment just going to make noise.
It has the Giga Chad song, so we don't want to get copyrighted by "Bring Me to the Horizon," so you might have to mute it, but you can just bring it up and it'll be you can treat it like a GIF.
Oh yeah,
yeah, just
gacha games one at the other ends, and Girls Frontline is just continuing on for 7 years.
Yeah. See if you can bring it. I guess it's fine.
Nah, it's hard.
Yeah, bring it up.
Download.
Bring it up.
Too late. Got time to move on.
No. Okay. Well, but no. Talking about to answer the question though, right? Like the gacha game community is also very much tribes, and I don't think it's like. I don't know. I don't think the cannibalization happens a lot with the gacha game stuff because usually, like, there are some instances where there'll be like there was a big thing with Blue Archive fans going against GFL fans over like lolly shit a while ago, but those instances are like those like wars are increasingly rare. Honestly, like a lot of the time, I from what I see, the tribes tend to keep to their own. So gacha players would more openly divide meat because they do map to equal out the pools.
However, Nretsew, there's one great error in this thinking. They are terrible at risk assessment.
Yeah.
They will just keep going forever. So if you just can convince them there's a chance they'll win. They'll throw thousands of lives for that 0.00005% chance.
All right. Let's hear what our man's got to say.
And since I don't want to make this into a back in my day type of video, contrary to the tone so far and the title of the video, I'm loving Dandadan. The comedy is on point, the romance is as wonderfully awkward as it should be between two teenagers, and the action, while not really my style of action, is still amazingly animated and is kinetic enough to keep me engaged. It's an all-around good ride, and I can understand why it's at the top of everyone's watch list for this season. But I'm definitely enjoying Dandadan in spite of the hype around it. I watched the one Scamboli.
This man really likes bringing up Scamboli. I think was he? Oh no, was it this guy or another guy? Someone brought up Scamboli like constantly in their video or something.
Scamboli released like a video 9 hours ago by now, and apparently it's about anime discussions or something.
Oh no!
In general, it might be a part 3 of this kind of.
This guy's just trying to be a Scamboli 2.0.
Maybe,
I don't know. I don't watch Scamboli. I don't know anything about him. But it's like But anyway. But it's like what does he mean? Like he's because we watched Dan to Dan, right? We enjoyed it. We never really like talked about like the hype around it, did we? Like because it was popular. Don't get me wrong. Like people were hyping it up
in the sense of, hey, this show is pretty good, and I see that other people like it.
Yeah, like I don't think we ever like talked about the hype around. I don't remember us talking about the hype around it, or if it. Like, because it didn't affect our viewing of it, did it? Like, really, at all? Like, we just sort of watched it and enjoyed it and had fun.
The only thing that it really affected... I mean, I saw one trailer. It had good music. And the action in it was pretty good. So it was, damn, this is a thing I'll pay attention to. But this, other than that, no, I haven't really engaged in that sense, other than that I see more videos that we might use to cover during these episodes.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, let's see where he's going with it.
Reviews video about Dandadan when it came out 2 years ago. Even then, I only watched it once, then forgot the manga even existed. And outside of this and the manga, that's all I've consumed about Dandadan. I have enough context to get me excited for more while being able to process what I've watched and how I feel about it. There's enough room for me to be pleasantly surprised, which is what you lose when you're exposed to so much noise. I can only take so much of people telling me how this one show is gonna save anime and how I need to watch it now before I crash out and just get jaded, cause yeah, when all you hear are good things.
Yeah, just fucking ignore them. You know, remember how many people were like going on about, oh yeah, Attack on Titan is so cool. Attack on Titan is the big thing. Everyone's talking about. I knew people at fucking Polytech when I was in Polytech. They were like, yeah, I'm watching Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan's cool. Like normie people, right? They're like, yeah, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan. Did I watch Attack on Titan? No. I didn't care. I was like, all right, I guess it's good. All right, I've got other stuff going on. I don't want to watch Attack on Titan. Like, I don't care. Like, so what if a bunch of people say it's cool, right? I don't like, again, I don't give a fuck about what random people who I don't know and I don't trust have to say about fucking anime, right? I just block it out mentally. I just don't care. People say this show, like, I'll get the vibe, right? Like, because that is actually useful to be able to get the vibe check of, oh, people think this show is cool. Okay, good to know. And then I move on, right?
Yeah, but yeah. The thing is, right, he's listing a bunch of sites, but these sites are like basically AI generated, these articles.
Yeah, comic book resources, comicbook.com, yeah. And I mean, yeah, I'm not browsing any of these, right? I'll get my vibe check just off Twitter or whatever, right? I'll just like, people are like posting clips.
When I'm watching something, Nretsew, you know me, I go into the brain space. Ooh, what does it mean?
Yeah,
what themes are there present?
Look, society, big society.
And Dandadan was all about sexual growth and acceptance of bodies and seen and not seen and good and bad, and aliens don't care about bodily autonomy and what and stuff. And that's very interesting, and it's fun to talk about. But yeah, I could write something on a blog about that. But yeah, you Google won't show that because it's not optimized for maximum AI generated efficiency.
Yeah. So I'm just I feel like he's putting way too much onus on like the noise, right? He's focusing too much on the noise when you get your vibe check, right? You get your vibe check and then you move on.
Yeah, but
that's what you do.
He's saying he just twisted, communication theory term noise to mean things that are annoying.
Yeah.
He turned noise into annoying. But
that's true.
But these articles communicate rather clearly what they are. One, fluff articles. Two, semi-AI generated.
I love that one at the bottom. Dan readers warned us about controversial episode 9. We should have listened.
But
you didn't listen, Ellie. You didn't listen.
Episode 9 was...
I don't even remember what episode that was. Dan is the manga hit of 2024 winter anime season.
Oh,
that is high stakes.
That is the one they appear naked in the hall.
Right, okay, yeah.
From memory.
So that seems like some clickbait bullshit. Because I don't even remember like, because there was obviously the Chibi Reviews controversy around that, but that was like not like, oddly enough, that was like completely separated from like the actual like show. It's like the show happened in the show, and it's weird. I don't want to like go through that whole drama.
But anyway, just to maybe go back there a little bit. The reason why, of course, is because it was in context. People watched the show, and this was a natural progression of the story, their characters, and whatever, etc. And it was resolved in the next episode very easily, clearly and easily and smoothly. So there was no real yeah, it was a shock for them, but it was clearly communicated as such, and therefore there was no real problem in that sense.
Yeah. Close your eyes and walk away from the screen. Yeah, how the fuck is cyberbullying real? Yeah. But anyway, let's keep going.
It sounds too good to be true. And I know this is subjective, but how much noise I am exposed to can definitely affect how I consume anime. Like, fun fact about me, I haven't watched anything that's remotely related to
Alright,
Demon
Nretsew,
Slayer. Not because
just for confirmation, right? He says, the noise I am exposed to.
Yeah.
I'm going to harp on this, but noise in the definition that he showed was about interpretations of conversations, not subjected to noise. It was
You've autistically honed in on your one thing for the episode.
Yeah. Well, it's because
I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying
it's the one thing he's trying to base his argument on, and he's just fumbling
it's
the
faulty,
entire time.
It's faulty. Yeah. It's a faulty pillar. Yeah.
And every time he's going to bring up, every time he's going from, and the noise. Well, this is not what you meant in the beginning. So
yeah. And I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying like it's funny. But again, like the easy solution is like he controls the amount of noise he's subjected to, right? You control the pixels on your fucking screen, right? And of course, me and you can have an argument about how easy that is or not, but the fact of the matter is that is the solution to the problem. Yeah, that's how you solve it. So, yeah.
I think Demon Slayer is bad, or I'm some hipster that doesn't watch anything popular, but because there's still so much noise and hype around Demon Slayer that I'm scared of watching it and going, it was alright, yeah, it was good.
I mean, I watched season 1 of Demon Slayer, and I was like, yeah, that was alright, yeah, alright, yeah, it was fine, yeah. I didn't watch anything else from it. But I didn't watch anything else from it, not because like, oh, I thought it was bad, or I didn't want to watch any more of it, or like, oh, it's popular, so I'm not going to watch something that's popular. Ellie, I'm a snob. No, I just didn't continue it because other stuff came up. Other shows caught my interest in that season, and I didn't have the time, and I thought, nah, all right, well, maybe I'll come back to Demon Slayer later, because I'm a big proponent of people like, look, you don't have to watch everything when it's airing. You can always go back and watch it later. You're not forced to watch something every week if you don't like have the time or you don't want to. And again, this comes back down to the whole community thing. Anime should not be viewed as a social activity, right? You are consuming a piece of art. Right? I don't want to say consuming, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
You are partaking in a piece of art. You are watching something that is art. You should treat it as the art that it is and give it the attention that you believe it deserves, right? So, and if that means that you miss out on all of the like conversation, quote unquote, or community like hype around it or whatever, then fine, whatever, right? Who cares? Right? Why do you care? To use myself as an example, like Overlord, right? That's honestly become one of my favorite shows. I didn't watch that when it first aired. I didn't watch Overwatch. I watched it like a year later. I binge watched like season 1 and 2 because someone in a Discord server that I was in was like, hey, you should watch Overlord. I think you'd be into it, right? And I trusted the recommendation. I was like, all right, yeah, sure, okay. I kind of glossed over it when it came out because again, not because I thought it would be bad or because I had any issues with it, but because I was busy. Other stuff happened at the time. Life happens, right? And then when I did get around to it, I got to sit down. I got to binge watch season 1 and 2 over the course of like 3 days, right? And I had a fucking blast. I fucking loved it. It was great. And I didn't have to interact with a community to have that experience, right? Like the Overlord community. I didn't have to talk about the episodes every week or whatever. I didn't have to whatever. I just enjoyed it on its own terms, and it was great. And I think that's lost on a lot of these like people, right? Because they're so locked in and tuned into the noise, right? That as he describes it. I know it triggers you, Ali, but like the way he's describing the noise.
Describing noise instead of what he's quoting.
Yeah. He's so locked into it that he feels that I'm so worried about what other people will think if I watch the hype new thing and say that it's mid. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, yeah, no, the Chainsaw anime adaptation was mid. Right? I don't give a fuck. Right? I don't give a fuck if people like think that I'm retarded for that opinion. Like, who gives a shit? Right? If I think it's mid, I'm gonna call it mid. I don't care. Right? I didn't even fucking finish it. I just want, I'm like, yeah, no, this looks like shit. I'm not gonna finish it. Right? I don't care. So yeah, that's my rant done. I guess I might have to go grab a drink in a second.
Yeah, but community watching is one of the appeals of any, doing anything really. Watching sports, watching darts or something. A lot of things that you do together are more fun together, and there is fun to be had in fresh conversation, speculation.
Well, yeah, but that's what we do, right? And that's what we do in the anime segments where we're discussing about like what we watched this week and whatnot, right? But the thing is, we're doing that on a micro level, whereas he's talking about doing that on like a collective level.
Yeah,
right?
But the problem is that you kind of the thing that I feel I get vibes that his problem is kind of more Google than anime community. It's more Twitter that is more Elon actually than Twitter than community, because Google and Elon kind of decide what the algorithms are and serve that to him. And if he thinks this is all engineered for maximum engagement and crypto scams, then there is no community discussion, because that was judged to be not as profitable as the crypto scams, the crypto ads.
Yeah, and if you're using that as your litmus test and you don't have your own community, right, or your own tribe, you don't have your own tribe.
Your own little Discord server.
We have our tribe, right? Us, the Critical Critique tribe, right? We've got our own little tribe of
members
our
too.
Chatters and our chatters and me and you, right? And we've got our little mud hut, right? And we're doing our things in our mud hut, right? Like, I think that more people, again, if you stopped thinking about the anime community as like a collective and more as a series of tribes, and you find the tribe that you fucking jive with, right? And you join that tribe, and there you go. Now you've got a group of people that you can interact with that are on the level, and you can have your conversations instead of trying to like speak to you're screaming into the fucking void, mate, right? Like,
you're screaming against algorithm machines as being the problem.
I'm imagining imagine there's like a mountain, right? And then at the bottom of the mountain there's all of the mud huts, right? You have all the mud huts. This guy is doing the equivalent of climbing up to the mountain, at the top of the mountain, and screaming at the mud huts, right? He's screaming from up on the mountain, trying to communicate with the mud huts, and the mud huts can't even fucking hear him properly because he's trying to interact with like all the communities at once, when he should just go down the mountain and talk to the mud huts individually and find the one that you want to join.
Yeah.
Join your mud hut.
Yeah.
There you go.
Also, Samuel, you did miss it, but I do have to say, Nretsew did it very quick this time.
Wait, I did what?
The conditioning. You did it real quick.
Oh, yeah. I did do it, yeah. If you didn't hear it, then I might. I might go grab a can. Fuck it, I'll go do another one.
Hey.
Not an energy drink because I'm not that fucking masochistic. But I'll be back in a quick sec.
Don't worry, Nretsew, you get your second one, even if you got your first one. But yeah, I would blame algorithms for his lack of community feeling vibes.
All right, now everyone be quiet. Are you ready? Okay, hang on. Let me just I'm gonna get the microphone because I gotta get it. There you go. There's your second conditioning of the day. Oh man.
Yeah. How far are we?
Always takes it all. We're past halfway. We've got like a few left. Oh. So anyway, let's get back to it.
As good as everyone says, can't complain. Got nothing bad to say about it. And that would suck, because I know it's genuinely good, and I've only heard amazing things about it. But I hear you, right?
Oh, Nretsew, you saw that. Yeah.
Mm.
That was some goddamn 60 FPS interpolated for
He did that in the
8K.
last one too. He did that. We had a conversation in because I remember I was rewatching that one recently. We had the same conversation in the last one because he used like 60 FPS interpolation shit. It's like a repeat. Stop doing that. God. But anyway.
If you're so worried about online noise, just disconnect. The
Yeah!
do not recommend button is just right there. Why are you complaining about this? And yeah, you're right. That's usually the correct thing to do for a problem like this. But what if I told you that simply disconnecting doesn't work anymore? That
Oh yeah.
Is he going to describe my problem that the feeds get just filled up by different things, or?
Well, let's see what he says.
even if you avoid the noise will come find you. So what partly inspired me to make this video.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, just move on. The noise will find you. Move on.
I agree. I guess that happens to me, but are you going to elaborate on that, or?
All right. Well, let's see. He's about to talk about some memes, so let's see what he says.
Is the community posts that you're currently seeing on screen. These are posts from a YouTuber who I have no idea who they are or the kind of content they make, yet for some reason, the YouTube algorithm just started pushing their community posts onto my feed. Which, digging further, this person runs their channel as a meme page, essentially. I did not know that's how some people choose to make their communities here, so that was...
I guess. And I do agree, like, because, yeah, the YouTube community, like, thing is kind of weird, because because usually it'll push, like, community posts from, like, I'm looking at my own right now, I'm trying to find it, because it doesn't actually show up all the time, either.
No, it's very kind of rare, almost.
Yeah, I barely see it. Like, sometimes it'll show up where I'll see a community post from, like... And it's usually YouTubers that I've either follow or I've watched their videos before. So, I don't know why he would have this guy's random stuff show... I mean, I guess
well,
it'll show up in his
sometimes, not too long ago, for me at least, it was a channel that I never really watched, but I saw recommended a couple of times. You know... Imagine, if I watch gaming channels, there was a different gaming YouTuber that had some community posts.
So I'm not saying this isn't a problem or whatever. Like, I do agree that... I mean, I'm anti-algorithm in general, right? I think algorithms are bullshit. I'm not going to sit here and say that the algorithms aren't dumb, but I feel like, again, like, if I saw, like, these posts on... Because it's such a small thing, the community thing on your, like, homepage, right? Like, it's such a small thing that pops up every now and then. It's pretty easy to just scroll past it while I'm... Because 9 times out of 10, if I'm on the homepage of YouTube, I'm just looking at the recommended videos and just saying, oh, is there anything that, you know...
Is there another
that's cool.
court case that has been some little bit of drama in there?
Yeah. Is there some, like, oh, that's a video on some game, I'll watch that later, or oh, I'll watch that later, or look, ASMR, cool, sweet, you know, or whatever, right? I'm not really paying much attention to the community thing when it pops up, so, you know, very easy for me to scroll past that and not view it as noise. But yeah, let's listen to him talk about it.
Mind-opening. I didn't ask for this kind of content, I didn't consent to this kind of content, and even after pressing the...
You didn't ask for this. You didn't choose this. But suddenly, suddenly, you had a meme posted in your... Okay. Well, again, I don't disagree with him so far. Like, I agree. Like, algorithms are bad, but
do not recommend button, I'm still getting their content. And this is what I mean by the noise will come find you. There's an algorithm behind everything now. Every website is designed to keep you engaged and to stay on for as long as possible. Even if you disconnect from every anime forum that you're involved in, some algorithm on some other website that you use will tell you all about the next big thing. And I know this is rich coming from me. I'm another dime a dozen AniTuber whose channel lives and dies by the generosity of the YouTube algorithm. It's not my right to be complaining about this. I wake up...
Well, not necessarily, right? Because, like, I think that I've kind of been hinting at my opinion on algorithms before, but I guess I'll kind of elaborate a bit further. The problem I have with algorithms is they're black boxes, right? Because Google created the algorithm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Google doesn't actually understand how the algorithm works, right? It's a black box. You feed information into the black box, and then the black box spits out an output, right? So the algorithm is like, oh, you watch this thing, that means you must like this thing or this thing. Oh, you said do not recommend that thing, so we won't. So you don't like that thing, right? But it's not simple, right? And it's not like no one actually understands how it works at all. It just kind of is this nebulous, like, again, a black box. It's a technical computer term, right?
So,
like,
Nretsew, it's just interject maybe a little bit of my own conspiracy in this, right?
oh,
yeah, spicy. I think the black box is mostly a lie.
Oh, okay.
I think YouTube can very much control what at least comes out by just, putting an extra filter on the end or on the beginning or adjusting some values in the middle. Maybe Nretsew, they don't know if you feed in the data what will exactly come out at any given time, but they can constrain what comes out effectively. So I think the black box is kind of more of a it's not our fault kind of deal.
That could be true, but I do think that on a technical level, I can believe that they don't have full understanding of how.
So they might, yeah.
Because you're kind of talking about like after the black box, right? Outputs, you can edit the output of the black box, but the black box still exists, right? Is kind of what I'm.
Yeah, but but YouTube, I mean, in ChatGPT, it's more complicated, I believe, than the YouTube algorithm, but they can kind of effectively limit things midway through their generation. So I don't see a reason why Google can't, midway through their algorithm, adjust some values. And if they can adjust some values to get a different outcome than the beginning, and that is what they wanted, then they effectively can control the black box, which means it's not as black really. Therefore, they just say it to say it's not our fault. But this is my kind of my conspiracy in black box.
I can see it. I can see it. But getting back to the topic in general, though, like I don't like algorithms because of black box theory, and I also just don't like how little control users have over the content, right? Because as you guys know, I'm a very big proponent of people controlling the pixels on their screen, and algorithms are kind of the antithesis of that, right? Instead of you deciding, I want to look at this content, the algorithm is deciding, hey, you might like this, right? And I can if I opt into it, right? Like, it's why I like, because you bring up the Blue Sky stuff. I do, as much as I'll shit on Blue Sky for other reasons. I do like that Blue Sky is a lot more opt-in with like, oh, you want the discovery feed, or do you want this feed, or do you want that feed? Oh, you can not download, but you can choose a feed from the feed thing that is like someone else has made a feed, right? And
or you can make your own if you can.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. I do think that is good, right? And I think that Twitter's whole like for you versus following feed is a bit of a, it's kind of an opt-in because the following feed is meant to be less algorithmed, but I think it is still a bit algorithmed. I wish that they would do something to the fucking following feed where they just rip the fucking algorithm out completely and have it just be normal, right? But nonetheless, right, I don't like algorithms, so I think it is perfectly valid, even if this guy is like at the mercy of the algorithms as a YouTuber, I think it is perfectly valid to criticize the way that the algorithms work and kind of say, well, hang on a minute, this is giving me noise, quote unquote, that I don't want to see. I want to be able to stop that, right? It's I think it's valid to criticize it. So I don't like how he's like, oh, I don't have any leg to stand on here. It's like, no. In fact, the fact that he benefits from the algorithm is specifically why he should probably be standing up to it.
He's crawling into the well himself to tell himself that he yet partakes in the society.
Yeah. But anyhow, let's continue.
Up in a cold sweat checking my analytics just to make sure everything is doing okay. God help me if my voice is ever used for YouTube slop. But I feel like there's a difference between one dude yapping your ear off about why an anime is good, and the incomprehensible mind of an algorithm as it slowly warps your perception of things as it pushes you to content that you may or may not have asked for. And it's pretty terrifying.
That's some Minecraft music.
Yeah, good old Minecraft.
You're on a train that has no brakes and with no way to get off of it. And this sucks because it's hard to truly appreciate something when you already have a preconceived idea on how you should feel about it or how it can serve you before you've even begun to consume it. I enjoy Dandadan because I knew nothing of it. By avoiding all the constant glazing, I didn't have my opinion pre-made for me and I had room to process.
Again, you could just ignore it. Like I knew Dan, like, based on the vibes, I knew that, oh yeah, this looks like it's going to be pretty big. It's going to probably do well, right? I thought, yeah, it's going to be all right. But I didn't, like, pre-make my own opinions about it, because that's why I'm watching it. I'm watching it so I can, like, be like, yeah, no, I agree with the vibe, right? I'm vibing with it. I'm good. Or like with Chainsaw Man, or at least the anime anyway, right? Not the manga. I can be like, yeah, no, this is mid. Fuck you all. You're wrong. Right? It's trash. Go away. It's bad. I dropped it.
Yeah,
you, right?
I mean, Nretsew, you like the solo leveling, and I said boring,
I like
talky.
solo leveling. I'll talk about solo leveling when we talk about it. But it's like, I like solo leveling. I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
And Nretsew, I say solo leveling is boring, talky. Watch me go over 5 different animes that I appreciate because they only go about talking about talking.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I feel like this issue of like, oh, I don't want to have preconceptions. I get that you want to go in blind, right? I get that. That's fine. But you don't have to internalize the opinions of others, right? Just because you see someone else's opinion where they're like, man, Dan's gonna be so sick. Yeah, fuck yeah, I love Dan. Yeah.
There's like, a difference in, I mean, I very much sympathize and kind of agree that, Twitter algorithms specifically, there I have the most problems with. That they so hard just fill the feeds with garbage after you just filtered them all out. But you can avoid watching Dan hype videos. That's easy.
Yeah. You see the fun again. You choose the video that you watch. Yeah, you don't have to.
More so than the tweets that you read.
Yeah, I get you there. But anyways, we're getting there. We've got like a minute left, so let's see how he's gonna wrap it up.
It's what I watched, and that's the point of this video. Hype is not a bad thing in of itself. It's natural to get excited for the things that we like. But hype with a shit ton of noise is the killer of being pleasantly surprised, which is a feeling that's getting more and more rare nowadays because of how aggressive the content mill is. Since the algorithm just blasts you with content that varies in quality, there's no room for the unknown. Yes, there's fear in not knowing, but there's an equal amount of joy and charm in not knowing what comes next. Between people who leak the next chapters in a manga being celebrated as heroes, to people reposting the same 10 memes about a character to milk their notoriety.
Alright, we're almost there.
Variety for those sweet updates, to an algorithm inorganically showing you what the next big thing is. 1,000 people will tell you 1,000 different things so that you'll feel 1,000 different ways. It's getting harder and harder to drown out this kind of noise. And you'll realize that the only way to win this game of noisy content is not to play.
What a stinger.
No, you can never go back. He's not doing that again. He's not doing the "you could never go back." Okay,
maybe it was that was a big
that anime man one. We're gonna have to watch that because that looks like it'll be fucking fun. It looks like it'll be a fun one. We might have to do that. Maybe not next week, but another week. So I put that in the queue. But okay, so yeah, this was a bad video. To kind of cut you off at your own criticism, I agree with you with the whole like noise definitional problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't define noise in the communication studies context and then start talking about noise in the colloquial context, right? Because he starts talking about noise in like the generalized, this is
annoying
this
things to see.
Yeah, annoying things to see. Just white noise or like whatever we call it, right? Like, yeah. But when you bring it up in like the actual academic context of communication studies, it is a very specific thing that means something, right? And so I feel like bringing that up just to try and like, I guess, get credence to your argument and then to talk about it in a completely different context is not good. So
it's kind of
that's a problem.
It's just a shame because it's respect the people who cite things. Who admits that they are borrowing ideas from others. That's a good thing, Oh, this person had a good idea. Let me borrow things from that, or let me explain why I think this applies or whatnot. Normal stuff, good stuff. But just citing big words, and noise in this context is a big word. To then just give more, more authority to what you're singing, that's a bad. That's let's say not citing your sources bad kind of deal.
Yeah. So and then talking about the actual topic of the video, like again, I think I've made myself pretty clear that you control the pixels on your screen, and my stance is pretty hardline that if you can't outright block it, you can just ignore it, right? You can just not give a fuck about what random people who are probably not even real on the internet think about your thing, right? So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, he did make it up, Samu. He pretended to not make it up, and then he started to make it up right afterwards. That was a shame.
Yeah. Exactly.
I feel that his community that he misses is just kind of replaced by, I get it, algorithms, but also the sites that he showed real quick were also algorithm quick generate, if not generated, it was just stolen from Twitter articles. A tweet about Nretsew. How many articles are written based on a single tweet from a nobody?
Yeah. Some rando on
those articles, and the community is gone because people got paid to do that, to write Twitter threads, to write nothing articles based on those Twitter threads. And that's a shame. And unfortunately, that means that unless you kill Google, which is a noble goal. Don't get me wrong. It's unfortunately you will have to move to a different place for now, unless we.
Sadly, you're gonna have a hard time getting rid of Mark Zuckerberg because he does jiu-jitsu now. So he's
yes,
it's probably gonna be a bit hard. I've been watching the Joe Rogan interview he did with Mark Zuckerberg, and he's talking about how he's doing jiu-jitsu and shit now. So.
Well, maybe it's quite... let me see how good his jiu-jitsu is on a gun.
Just Indiana Jones, fucking does all his fancy jiu-jitsu, just pull out a gun.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! But anyway, I guess that kind of covers.
Yeah, we said a lot of stuff during the thing. Even my conspiracy that black boxes are kind of a
Shall we actually talk about the animus?
Yes.
Let's actually talk. Holy shit, anime! Man, we're gonna be watching a lot of animus at least at the start of the season.
Yeah,
a lot of good shit.
as we do, as it is.
It's not going to be a Dan season, that's fucking for sure. There's a lot coming out. So where do we even want to start? What's something that we're both watching that we can talk about?
The both watching and we have images for. I don't think we. Oh, we do have the bureaucrat that got reincarnated.
Yeah, let's start with that then, because I watched that yesterday as well, so I can talk about it. So so one of the things for this season is we don't some of them are not going to have images necessarily because I'm lazy. It's one of the reasons It's one of the reasons I haven't. Oh, excuse me, I haven't done timestamps.
For my stream, what a shame, Nretsew.
No. Well, yeah, I haven't done timestamps. I've been too fucking busy, dude. I've been doing other stuff. So getting episode images for shows that I'm watching and Ellie isn't is going to be a bit of a might happen, might not happen. So we might, yeah. So but for shows like one that we're watching, Dad's been reincarnated. It's pretty good.
Yes,
I'm having a good time. I think it's quite funny. I cracked up quite a bit. So the general TLDR, right, is you got our what is he, 56, I believe,
some 56-year-old old man.
He saves kid from Truck-kun. That poor kid was denied his isekai journey by Truck-kun. Stole
unfortunately.
Yeah, he stole it from him. And he wakes up and he is a aristocrat, hot chick.
Blonde drill hair.
Yeah, drill hair, and she'd fallen off her horse and banged her head, and all of a sudden she has all of his memory. Well, he's basically taking control of the body. Basically.
Yeah.
And so he is inside the Otome game. That is, I believe it's his daughter. I assume it's the daughter.
Yes.
The daughter's playing. And we get a little flashback scene where he walks in on the daughter playing the game, and he's like, "Oh, these computer games graphics have gotten so good these days."
Because Dad is was a total otaku who knows every single character. Yeah. Played all the games, read all the manga, did all the light novels.
He's spewing a bunch of. I think he brings up Blaze Blue a couple of times. He's bringing up a bunch of references to things, right, that he was into. One of the little images you've got there is he's listing off all the twin drilled. The villainous drill hair.
The tsundere characters have a long tradition of having drill hair. Let
me list off these copyright distinct drill hair. No one will know.
See from I believe that this character that I have up is from Auburn High School Host Club.
I think so. Yeah. So So there's a lot of fun. There's a lot if you're looking in closely. There's a lot of fun little references to things that show up, and it is quite cool. So episode kind of continues. So a lot of this episode is establishment, right? Okay, I'm in the body of this aristocrat girl. I should probably try to play the part that I've been given.
Somewhat.
But he fumbles at the very I fucking died when it happened, because what happens is he's going to the school, right? And the main character of the virtual novel, or the Otome game, who is the pink-haired girl, right, shows up, and he's like, "Oh, I remember what happens here. The drill girl accosts the peasant, classism, Ellie. Good old class. You love classism, hell yeah. How dare you join the magic school, you filthy peasant, right? But the thing is he goes to do that, but it ends up coming out as oh, your parents must really care about you because because his dad mode activates and a little pop-up comes on the screen. It's like dad mode activates.
Be grateful to your parents, for you have
Yeah.
great responsibility and great hopes for the future.
And this main character girl is like, starts crying. But it's interesting because it's what happen. It is what happens in the novel, but it's like a different angle, right? It's not because she's getting like classismed. It's because she's like, you understand my pain.
Appreciation.
I'm appreciated. And so one of the abilities that our guy has, right, is he's got this like translator, right? That's translating all of his actions from like businessman etiquette, bowing and doing things, right? It all gets translated through a filter of what would an aristocrat woman do. I think he calls it like the elegance filter or the elegance cheat mode or something.
When he does his Japanese straight 45-degree angle bow, instead he'll do a skirt lift.
Yeah,
bow.
Yeah. So everything he's saying and doing is getting like filtered through the translation software, right? To work, and it's causing some really interesting things with the main character girl. Because Ellie, did you notice that the main character there's this little purple pink little light?
Nretsew.
Yeah, it's almost like a fiction thing. A fiction go up.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh, a fiction go up. Interesting. And so we get to see. We're kind of skipping over a few things because we don't want to be. I've told Ellie before the show that we don't want to like describe everything that happens.
No, but
from now we'll
forgive ourselves for being the first episode.
Well, we're trying to like get through things a bit quicker, right? But I do want to tap on a few instances of things that happened that I found interesting about the episode, like the when they're in the classroom and the guy is like, so from the perspective of the pink-haired girl, right, the main character girl, she's looking at our man here, and he's so focused, Ellie. He's so focused. He's looking at his book. He's reading the book. He turns the page so eloquently, and then he looks at the teacher, and then he reads the book, and he looks. Oh man, this is so cool. I have to follow in her footsteps and be like her, so I don't, because I'm the peasant girl, but I have to be. I don't want to let her down and make everyone think that she's bad. But then you get to see what he's doing, and he's just freaking out because he can actually see.
Yes.
he's like, holy shit, I can see. I'm not old. I'm not old anymore. I don't have the glass. Oh my god, I can see, Ellie. And he's like, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. I have
a spry back. I have hair. I have eyes. I have attention. I have energy.
To be young again. To be young again. So that, and then we move on to like the cafeteria scene where he's like, these posh girls like, what do you mean I have to get my own food? I'm a fucking my servants, ma'am, your servants aren't allowed into the. But what do you mean I have to touch my own food? And then our boy comes in, our man comes in, and he's like, "I'll show you how it's fucking done." Gets his food. Eats the food. Wow, this food is great. Be sure to give compliments to the chef. And all of the other girls are like, yeah, compliments to the chef too, yeah.
Starting a new tradition and whatnot.
Yeah, and I did find one of the interesting comments he made during that was he was like, wow, this is kind of cool. It's like a medieval kind of like setting world, but all the food is like modern Japanese food. It's great.
Because it's a game. It's very often obviously a game with unrealistic.
But he does note that the people in the game do seem real, so I'm going to treat them like they're real people. Which was good. I did like that. I think that was kind of a good thing. So overall, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. I think I'll continue this one. I think it's funny. I think it's really good. Like, because I did watch, what was the other one? The Villainess, whatever it was. I think I didn't catch up on the second season of that, I don't think, but I did watch the first season of that, and I talked about it, and I thought that was also quite good too. But this is like a different angle to it, because instead of it being like, oh, I'm trying to avoid the death flags, and it just sort of like ends up changing everything, right? And then becoming kind of, this is like a different angle to that, right? And I'm interested to see how it progresses and where it's going with it. And I guess the final thing we could talk about, because I see you got the ending down there, and we can mention the. I'll let you mention that because.
It just the thing on the Twitter, the thing on the Blue Sky, wherever I saw it was. The song that they do at the end is not just a regular ED song. It's kind of the national, it's a national song, basically. The song that everybody knows.
It's one of those like, oh look, it's everyone's heard that song before. It was a big top hit, and it's been used in advertising, and it's been used in like all kinds of things, and everyone
in events and in ringing in the New Year song. Every country has some song that everybody knows that has been made. 40 years ago there was a song, and it's been played again and again for the past 40 years. So there's not a soul that doesn't know the song, and this is one of those things. So this ED is a cover, not a original song, and it's a very nice ED. Because, the style is kind of flat most of the time. At least this ED goes here, this is some fancy movement. Some smooth, and some good facial, pressing in the skin in the face, and the skin makes dance and whatnot.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but, I'm a little bit more quiet because I actually read the manga for quite a bit. So I don't know most
you have precog knowledge.
Yeah. It's a fun show. That's the thing.
Yeah, it is fun. I'm definitely going to keep up with it for now.
So I'll run through some because I watched some shows that I did get some screenshots for. Okay. I'll go through Apothecary Diaries because this starts from the first episode of the second season. Basically continues right from where we left off. But Nretsew, we get some. I do get a feeling kind of a chapter or two got skipped from the light novels.
Oh.
Because we get some details. For one, Mau is introducing erotic books into the rear palace. Because she was kind of, all the women are supposed to be all pure and whatnot, but they're here for sex, they're here for babies, and they don't know anything about it. It's kind of that's an issue, kind of. So Mama's getting in some erotic books for a little bit of education, a little bit of sexual education. Gets found out, the more explicit books get confiscated, even though the emperor himself is ordering these books.
Yeah.
But they are not allowed for the rest of the rear palace, so confiscated they are.
Only the emperor can get the snoo book. Only.
Yes. But Nretsew, this gives Jinchi a plan and ploy, because Jinchi is kind of wants to improve things. So what he does, Nretsew, he goes to the publisher or the printer of these erotic books and says, hey, print a bunch of books of a good novel that people like. And he just gives them out for free to everybody in the rear palace. And what he does is everybody wants to know the story, Nretsew. But how do you most quickly go through a story?
I don't know.
You read it yourself. You're not going to wait until somebody can read it for you. You You're not going to wait for the next, for somebody, whatever. Oh no, I don't have the time. I have to do some tasks.
You're not gonna wait for your favorite reacting YouTuber.
You're going to do it yourself. But oh no, Nretsew, there are a bunch of illiterate people here.
Shit!
But there's a book.
Shit!
But in this book, there are symbols that tell me the story. The solution is, I'm going to learn how to read. Bam! You have now a bunch of literate people. Because
you're just like, wow. Oh, fuck. Why didn't I think of that? Just read. Just learn to read. Yeah,
but it's they are in a society where they're not required to read, so it gives them a reason to want to be able to read, and they try to read on their own, etc., etc. They make their own time a little bit, get people to help them how to read and whatnot. And Mamo is helping her friend learn how to read and write. In addition, so Gingy's plan worked perfectly. Give people a book with a good story. Then people complain they have to read out the entire book and don't want to do it anymore. And then the people go, but I want to know the story. Go read it yourself. Alright, I'm going to learn how to read and then read it myself. Thank you very much. I won't be some filthy secondary. I'll be a primary reader myself.
Yeah. Fuck those anime watchers. Yeah. Fuck that shit.
Oh damn! I made a terrible mistake. I've put two screenshots are the same.
Yeah, I noticed that. I didn't say anything. Yeah, but it's yeah. So it sounds interesting. Yeah, sounds interesting.
Yeah, this one. Cat.
Okay, there we go.
There. Yeah. But the daughter of one of the main courtesans is grown up. She's going to outside for the first time. She's outside. She meets a kitten. Daughter in baby speak, toddler speak says, "I want kit. I want cat. I want that." Kitten is too filthy for now, so Mao is going to take care of the cat. By the way, Mao means cat, kind of, already in Chinese. So Mao cat is taking care of cat of Mao.
Funny wordplay.
Yeah. She herself doesn't like cats at all, despite her name. People say, "Why do your name is Cat, so why don't you like cats?" La 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 la. And Gingy likes cats, but not as much as other people. And then she explains what other people say that the people liking cats, like, "Oh, cats, they do what they want on their own, but when you give them something they like, they get all attentive and all fussy about it, and it's kind of annoying. But they're also selfish, so eventually you just give up. But they're cute, so you want to touch them. And meanwhile, she's saying this to Gingy. You see all the scenes of Mao doing kind of similar things." When she's walking coldly by, ignoring Gingy when he wants to talk to her. When Gingy has some poison that Mao wants, Mao is suddenly all up in his face, like, "Oh, Gingy, do you have something for me?" And all whatnot. So, the cat is also in good old, big government tradition, is given an official title, a position in the palace, a job description, and also is named Mao. Anyway, fun. The show continues to be good and fun. Let me talk about Orb. Nretsew, the orbs.
Okay. The orbs, yeah, you were mentioning the orbs before, the orb show.
Yes.
So what's going on with the orbs?
Small detail. This is now a quick recap from episode 1 to episode 15.
Okay, all right.
Because I came across the OP And the OP was nice, neat.
Ooh, cool.
I thought, ooh, this is a good OP. What's the show about? Oh, discovering that the Earth goes around the sun instead of, the dogmatic.
Yeah, I remember seeing this in the seasonal review a few seasons ago and being like, yeah, that sounds like an interesting premise, and then never really picking up.
Yeah, same. Completely the same. But the OP was good, so alright. Let me give it a watch. And then Nretsew. The show is about a few themes, Nretsew. First off, it's about how is best to describe it? It's not about the historical figures.
No, from what I understand, it's like a fictional. Like, it's not the exact what happened. It's more like kind of like it's a fictional kind of thing, right? Where it's like, yeah, this might have been what happened.
Fictional period piece in that sense.
Yeah, kind of like yeah.
But the show itself is also about the small, insignificant efforts of people that make a bigger impact later. The people you don't hear about in history. That were before the big names in history that did the important things.
Yeah. Your Einsteins and your Newtons and your Galileos and your,
And all those people were talking to other people before they wrote their ideas up and perfected them or whatever. So this is about the people who discovered that the Earth went around the sun before it was officially set in the big book and on the big paper.
Yeah.
So the show starts with our main character in the middle, kind of in the poster in the middle, and there's some heretic who his mouth is already torn open. The flap between your mouth, the side.
Yeah. Just rip your tongue out, yeah.
Just tortured, eye gouged out almost and whatnot. Guy says, he was a heretic, but he recanted the things, and now he's fine, I guess. He's your mentor for now. Now, the old man goes out on a cane, and his mouth all misshapen and whatnot, and says, hey kid, oh, you do some astrology? Neat, let me see. Oh, you see a star? That's neat of you. Good, I can continue my research. Continue your research. Didn't you recant? No, I lied.
Yeah, I had my fingers behind my back when I was doing my hearing.
Yeah.
Jinxed it. Yeah.
And you're going to help me, or I will kill you. You have good eyes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So he kind of agrees, and then they go on the hill, blah blah blah, and he says, "Hey, do you like astrology?" He says, "Yeah, it's neat, but the problem is, it's just so disorderly. It's so annoying. It's kind of ugly how the all the planets go back and forth and at random times almost, and for each different planet you have to do a different calculation for where they are at any given time and whatnot. And the orbits don't line up neatly and whatnot, so it's kind of a whole mess, right? So it's annoying.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, yeah.
And then the guy, well, what if the Earth moves? And he goes from, damn, that kind of makes sense.
It's like, fuck. Shit.
But it's complete heresy. It's against God and whatnot.
Fuck you. God.
Also, there's some problems, Nretsew. The Earth is... gravity exists. Things are pulled down.
Yeah.
And so things go to the center, and if Earth is not the center, why do things are pulled down? Why do things fall down if Earth is not the center?
Yeah, how does... Explain... checkmate, atheist.
Yeah, basically.
Checkmate.
So there are a couple of problems still, but it makes a lot more sense. with all the orbits and whatnot. But he gets convinced, Nretsew, but Nretsew, there's a problem. He gets found out and basically gets killed by the Inquisition, by the interrogators.
Ah, shit. Yeah.
But Nretsew,
yeah.
he has a little ball necklace.
Ah, little ball thingy madiki.
And Nretsew, this is the second theme of the show. Kind of inheritance, passing on. So you might see the little ball in his hand in the top left, but that gets passed on to the guy in the bottom right.
Right.
And he will continue on. And he continues on, and he can't read or write. But he teams up with a priest who says, no, fuck inheritance stuff. I'll be the one who perfects them. Oh, you are a woman. Oh, you woman. You girl. Oh, you are smart.
Oh, yeah.
I can use you because women are distrusted. So if somebody blames me, I'll just say you're a witch, and that will make me get me stuff.
Yeah, it'll all work out for me.
Yeah, and oh, you have papers, and you write papers, but they get some guy takes all the credit for you because you're a woman, and fuck you. Too bad for you, I guess. But good luck in the future, though.
Yeah, have fun. have fun.
Yeah, so this guy kind of perfects the orbits and whatnot, and goes from, well, maybe not perfect circles, maybe oval shapes. That makes more.
Yeah, maybe a bit of overly.
Yeah. So he continues on, and we're right, but Nretsew, they get caught.
Ah, shit.
The two guys, the girl gets out eventually. And Nretsew, with some discussions and talking around, the guy who can't read or write says, hey, maybe we should do something more scientifically, maybe we should do more the scientific methods kind of deal.
Yeah, maybe we should, do thing.
And he says, no, I am going to do it, and what I will do is perfect. And he goes, but what if you're wrong? And he says, no, are we supposed to live forever in the fact that we might be wrong? And he says, is that better than to assume that you're always right? That kind of
checkmate. So many. It's like just checkmate atheist, checkmate God lover, checkmate atheist, checkmate God. Yeah. Just
another God denied.
Yeah, just never ending. Yeah. So, it sounds interesting though.
And so, but Nretsew, this blonde guy who's kind of a total ass. He's so annoying. But he's right in, the Earth goes around the sun, but he's a total ass about it. He's, no, I'll be the one who finishes and nobody else, no successors, and whatever. But Nretsew, he's a total liar and a softie, but because he will continue, he will pass on the knowledge in the end.
Right.
And this is kind of what is in the middle right. He's dead, he's executed for being a heretic and blasphemous and whatnot. But he gives a letter to his friend priest who kind of tipped the church off to what he was doing, but not really intentionally. So he kind of feels some guilt. So, no, I will do what you want, I'll help you, etc., etc. And so now he is the one who inherits this from what our boy in the top left with his ball, and the guy that's with his torn out mouth, the top right, to the guy who is holding the book, to kind of the priest and the girl. The girl always also gets away, so she's another lineage kind of, and the priest passes on down the lineage to the other priest. So it's all kind of inheritance, passing on, kind of the birth of the
You
scientific.
will, yeah. You will continue the work. Yeah.
The birth of the scientific method, and there are other characters. There's an Inquisition character who does it not because he necessarily believes in, but he does it for the stability of the whole system. Because if you're saying that the church is wrong, that's kind of, I'm a parent and I don't want to live in a world of chaos where the church is wrong because the church is stability or whatnot. So, even the evil character is a father that does things for a good enough reason, but he tortures and kills people for it. And the blonde priest guy is a total ass, the most worst person you can meet, but he's right and does good things. So it's good stuff, Nretsew, and that was like 15 episodes in a good few minutes.
Sounds good.
I'll go quickly through Dr. Detective.
Ah, yes. Dr. House has returned, reincarnated as an anime girl. Yes.
So I'll
blah 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 blah
blah blah blah blah. I'll throw this show, I guess, to the pile to the other show. Quick recaps in the future, I think. Because it is Sherlock. Dr. Sherlock is the first episode, the first half of the episode. Hey, Joshua. I'll come back to you later. I'm on a roll right now. It is Sherlock. She is Sherlock. She has a guy with him who knows karate that does the fighting, protecting her for the stuff. There's a guy coming into ER. His leg is chewed off by a giant beast, and he has blue blood. Nretsew.
Oh shit.
That's
not normal. That's a problem.
Yes. But she figures it all out because Nretsew, this guy, was quick. Just the answer, real quick. The guy was shooting he's a member of a gang, and he was just released out of jail, and now he was immediately right after was shooting the second in command Yakuza guy, and while he was running away from his own shooting, what he did, he was shot in the leg. And if you get shot in the leg in Japan, you can't really go to the hospital to get the bullet out.
Yeah, a bit of a problem.
A bit of a problem. So he went to just a regional middle in the neighborhood doctor who moonlights as a underground doctor. Small problem, Nretsew. He died on the operating table in the practice.
Oh no!
So now he has a body to dispose.
Oh no!
So there are a couple of problems. One, he administered a bunch of local anesthetics, which has the effect of turning your blood blue. You never knew that, Nretsew. But you can
I didn't know.
That can just happen, apparently.
Yeah, apparently that's just a thing that happens. Yeah.
But when that happens, that's kind of a bad thing. So
a little bit. Because
that means that the blood is no longer transporting oxygen.
Yeah, because that's in case people don't know, the reason your blood is red is because blood is transporting oxygen, and that's what gives it the pigment.
Yeah. So the doctor gave him way too much anesthetics, and from damn, there's too much anesthetics. Damn, how do I fix this? Well, I am going to feed him some methylene blue. And that will that will make the blood transport oxygen again. And where is it? Where is some blood of methylene blue? In the museum, where is a big aquarium, because fish in a tank, bacteria, fungi, what or not. You treat that by just pouring some methylene blue in the fish tanks. So he breaks into the museum, tries to feed the guy methylene blue, but oh no, he is already dead. So now he has a dead body with blue blood in the museum. Problem. And a bullet in the leg. And you can see that somebody tried to treat the bullet and they did the methylene blue and did the local anesthetics. So what he does, the T-Rex is still under construction. Just let me get the big bone head and just chop off the leg with the big skull. Leg was eaten by a big animal. La 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 la. The doctor guy talks himself into being guilty. Dr. Sherlock Holmes figures out the whole problem. She's very smart and very demanding and bossy, and also I never watched any Columbo, but people say that the detective in the upper left is a Columbo clone. Also, she does the BBC Sherlock thing of doing all the maths and the formulas in her hand.
Right. Sounds good.
Good stuff.
Sounds good.
Or there's already an episode 3 out that I could talk about, but these 2 episodes were the entire mystery that I just described. It was faster that way.
All right. Okay. What else we got?
That was all the things I had prepared.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very prepared.
I got a few to talk about. So yeah,
yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no! Did you just? There we go. Now we've got our shows, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we should. I'll start with the Ninja Show. I'll start with our
I did watch that also.
Show.
The first episode only.
Yeah, I have only watched the first episode too. It's okay. I don't know if I jive with it. What it feels like, I don't know if you got this feeling.
Yes.
It feels like a 4 coma. It feels like a 4 coma.
I
very
agree.
much has that format of here's like a bunch of little skits, right? Of, punchline, opening, middle, punchline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of the format that I'm picking up on here, which leads me to think that it is some kind of 4 coma, maybe based on that, or maybe that's just the way it's formatted in the whatever it's based on, or if that's what they wanted to do. But the general gist is that this guy, he's walking down the street, and then out of nowhere, all of these beams are coming. He's going to get crushed by the beams. But, oh no, Ninja Lady shows up and is like, oh, you have like some mana
samurai blood.
Samurai blood or whatever. And that like attracts all these demons, and the demons are giving you all your bad luck. So here's the deal. I will protect you from the demons. The demon things, right? I'll protect you, right? And so the guy's like, sure. And the chick, what do you want in return? And she's like, well, can I live with you and be a neat?
I want to play games.
I want to play video games.
Get my figures.
Get my figures, yeah. And he's like, sure, I guess. And then from there, it's just kind of like, one of the skits that happens is like I did think it was a funny skit where like he goes off on a business trip. And it's like, hey, here's money. Give money for food. Buy food. And she's like, okay. And then he leaves. And then she's like, oh, that's a figurine. Figurine that I've wanted forever. It's rare.
Super limited edition. Collector's edition.
But food. But figure. But food. And she buys the figure. And then
she has to eat
bean sprouts. And then she has to eat bean sprouts until Man returns. And Man goes, what happened? And she said, I buy figure. And he's like, well, I found this figure.
No, she doesn't even say that she bought figure. She's like, what did happen? I'm eating this. Oh, alright. Hey, I saw this during my trip. Here's the figure that you really wanted.
Yeah, and so that's the kind of humor really that we're getting from the show at the moment, and it's all right. Like it's all right. Like it's not. I'm not jiving with it. I mean, the final skit with the psycho lesbian was pretty good, but because that's like the ending of what I watched was like the this other ninja girl shows up and she's like obsessed with the main ninja girl because she's like a psychotic masochistic lesbian or whatever, and wants the ninja girl to come back to the tribe or whatever. But I don't know if I'm going to continue it or not. Like it's okay, but it's I don't know if you're feeling a bit iffy on it too.
I am kind of
iffy.
I thought the psycho lesbian masochist was a little bit too much on the nose. I mean, we had magical girls that did it very well, and now we get kind of a cheap version.
So, we have masochistic lesbians at home.
Yes, that's the thing, right? So now we get kind of a real shallow one. It's like, we can do better. And there might be more characters, but yeah, it had a bunch of 4-comma view. It is an actual 12 minutes thing. It's a short, apparently.
Well, according to Nretsew, it's like 24 episodes, so it's getting 24 episodes. So I don't know if I'm going to jive with it. I might end up dropping it because I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. You'd think that I'd feel it, but I don't feel it. So what's the because there's one there that I haven't watched, which I think is that one in the bottom right.
Yes.
The cute. What's going on with the cute and funny down there, Ali? Something you want to tell us about?
We had Hokkaido girls, right?
Yeah.
Now we got Okiwana girls.
Ah, okay.
This is the regional propaganda show of the season.
The regional propaganda show, yeah.
And
okay, so how are you finding it? Because
it's funny. It leans a little bit more into it leads way more into culture because the guy is from Kanto, from mainland Japan, wherever Kanto, Kansai, doesn't matter. But he's now in Okiwana for whatever reason, not important. But he's now having to deal with that Okiwana, Nretsew, has his own language.
Yeah, it's a regional dialect
type
stuff.
Well, regional dialect is a little bit too... it's way more than that. It is its own language, but Japanese is just such a huge cultural force that most of the people speak Japanese with some words in between, or very rarely people speak the language, the old language, kind of almost exclusively, or a big dialect in between. So the guy has a crush on the girl who kind of only exclusively speaks in the original language. And he doesn't really understand a word of it.
Okay, that's a problem.
Yes.
Bit of a problem.
But no worries, there's another girl who can understand it and does some translating for him and her. But
that's nice of her.
That's nice of her. But the reason why she does this is because she has a crush on the guy.
Oh no!
So she does the translating, so she can stay close to him.
Uh-oh.
Love triangles.
Oh, big drama time. Oh boy.
Yeah. But no, it's all about fun and culture, and it's kind of funny that everybody has a tan to some extent. And all different extents also, like, oh, this one is a little bit lighter, this one is a little bit heavier, the main character is regular Japanese pale, the rest has some level of tan. Also the guys. And there's like a bunch of cultural things, like Okiwana doesn't have apparently a sayonara, and they have, I guess post-hoc made up a reason why they don't have a sayonara equivalent. and some other stuff like the girl that has a crush on him is Kana. So Kana-san. But in Nretsew, in Okiwana, if you have two, your two characters, you extend the characters. So Kana, if you have two of them.
Right.
And Kana-san means I love you in traditional Okiwana language. So when he goes, Kana-san, to call for her, he's saying I love you to the girl who has a crush on him. Very funny, cute, etc.
Yeah, funny, cute misunderstanding. Yeah.
And the last gag of the episode was, "Hey, have you ever had local traditional food?" "No, I haven't."
Oh.
And what happens, Nretsew, is that everybody in the class goes, I can give you some. I can make it. No, my grandma makes the best. I have a shop that sells that. And what happens? Everybody in the class feeds him the stuff, the local traditional food, because an outsider comes in and says, No, I never had that food. And you know what happens when an outsider never had the local traditional food and you can make it or bring it? You will make it and or bring it, no matter how many people will also do it. And they do an Ava joke in the middle of it. It's funny. Also,
it sounds good.
Yeah. Also, apparently, the name Higa is so common that when he goes Higa-san, everybody
turns around. Yeah.
It's a funny joke, and the second time that he goes Higa, and then 4 people already go, "Are you talking to me?" And then move on because he stopped himself from getting an.
It sounds pretty good.
Pretty good. To maybe summarize my will I continue watching this? Because it's kind of bilingual show, the subtitles aren't really as good as you want it to be.
Yeah, because they have to translate double.
Yes.
Double the translation, yeah.
And because the character doesn't understand it and it's not written out in Japanese, it's kind of just written phonetically. Whenever they do the traditional language, it's written as you are hearing it. But not what they are saying. But I would rather have a translation of it right away instead of having the translation, given. It's kind of, I guess they're not really built. Crunchyroll isn't built for this, or
Crunchyroll is not built for it. Yeah.
On the other hand, other than the Okiwana, other than the Hokkaido show, I'm learning stuff here. This is interesting.
Hey, good.
I'm getting some cultural from far lands, far away.
Becoming cultured.
Yeah.
So anywho,
all right. So quick, Joshua. I have seen Amigama Brilliant Park. I don't know the exact artists of each show. Well, besides that, I believe this is based on mangas, both of these at least. So the manga author is the artist.
And I haven't watched the manga either. But I guess moving on. So Fate.
Yes.
You like Fate? Do you like Fate, Elliot?
I do like Fate. I have watched.
You are a Fate enjoyer.
Yes, I've read the original the original visual novel. I have watched not the new Unlimited Blade Works.
I watched Zero. I watched Heaven's Feel. Well, yeah, I watched the Heaven's Feel anime. I didn't watch the more recent ones, the other ones. I kind of watched a little bit of Apocrypha. Didn't finish it, but I watched a bit of it. It's pretty good. So this one is
if you can more, I watched the Iumurai Lord II. Or Lord Imulai II.
Yes. I remember you mentioning that, yeah.
I watched that one, and I watched Zero. I kind of skipped everything that was in the original Fate Stay Night, because I already know what happens there.
Yeah. So this is like...
Sorry, one last thing. I didn't watch the Apocrypha at all.
Okay, so from what I understand about this one, this is like based off. From what I understand, they had like a prototype for Fate. So it was like, and I could be wrong, someone who's like an actual Fate nerd will probably correct me, right? But there was, before they made Fate Stay Night, they had a prototype story of Fate, which was the original concept for what they wanted Fate to be. But then what ended up happening was, because over revisions, over, rewriting and coming up with new ideas, eventually it strayed so far away from the prototype it might as well be its own thing.
Yes.
So that own thing ended up being Fate Stay Night as you know it as the virtual novel, right?
Yeah.
However, they still had the prototype version, and they thought, well, this has got some interesting ideas in it. We don't really want to like scrap all these ideas. Why don't we just spin this off into its own separate thing? And then that's how Strange Fake kind of came into existence. Is it's based off the original concept idea for Fate Stay Night, where instead of Artoria being a girl, it's actually King Arthur, and it's a female protagonist, and it's there's other similar beats but different kind of feel. Right? Similar beats, different feel. And so that's kind of like the context behind what this is. But what I believe they've done, because I haven't read, because this is based off like a light novel, right? They made like a light novel based on it.
Not read that also.
Yeah. So basically this is like, they've kind of spun it into the main Fate timeline universe, I think. At least based off what I've been watching, this first episode, because your boy, Mr. Clock Tower Man, right, from the show that you watched, he shows up and he's talking about stuff, right? So I assume that this has been, like, incorporated into, like, the main Fate, takes place after Stay Night, different Grail War, Americans doing some dumb shit in America, right? Because it's set in America.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Yeah.
So quickly, some lore things, right?
Big lore.
Big lore. Big lore that nobody cares about, but you might find interesting. So, Grail Wars. You have the root. The root is big original magic. Magic that...
Yeah, big magic. Big dick magic. Yeah.
But the root is basically all knowledge of the world. Having all the knowledge in the world. And magic is...
the BIOS source code, if you will. Yeah.
And magic is just... pale imitations, not even worth mentioning, really. Worthless, almost, in comparison to the root. But you study magic to get there.
Yeah.
And you get some amazing magic as you get closer to the roots. But if you go touch the roots, you basically get absorbed or die and whatever weird stuff happens. But people want to get to the root because big knowledge, big origin of all magic and life and knowledge and whatnot. The Grail Wars are a method, our way to get there. That is our origin. It's a sideway, weird detour way to get to that ultimate knowledge. But because a lot of people are joining in, it gets all messy and corrupted and whatnot, and people mess around with the system or whatnot. Blah blah. Then the original Fate Stay Night happens. Blah blah. Grail's corrupted. It's kind of useless, etc. Then later, in order of the timeline, now we get to a place where the Grail Wars happened. It's kind of known, a thing. Now people are starting to mess around with the Grail system.
Yeah.
Like, how does it work? Can we make our artificial Grails? And that is what I feel this is. And why is that important, Nretsew? Because after this is Fate Grand Order, where as you might know...
Which as we know is the gotcha game everyone fucking hates, yeah.
But there you can have multiple Grails at the same time. a bunch of grails. You can drown in grails, and you can have
You swim in your vault of grails.
Yes, and you can have command steals that recharge on their own and whatnot, which of course isn't a thing in the Guerrilla Wars. And then you got stuff like you got a game series with Nero, the saber-faced Nero, that happens kind of on the moon. That is also kind of a further off from. So what I see is kind of that this Fate Strange Fake is the midway point between Guerrilla Wars as they naturally, quotation marks, happen, and the completely artificial and modified systems that we have in Fate Grand Order and the games on the moon.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So it's pretty much
the prototype.
So it's like
the prototype, I don't think has a real influence other than some designs. It's
Maybe it's not as connected as
it's not as connected.
Right. But nonetheless, because again, I'm not a nerd, you see, so I don't I mean, I like Fate, don't get me wrong. I'm into Fate. I'm just not hyper into it. I'm not hyper fixated.
I like the lore. It was interesting, so I read it once, like a couple of years ago. So I'm probably still some wrong. 5-0 said that Moonstell is an offshoot. From what I vaguely remember, what I'm saying can still be right, but if somebody says I'm wrong in that, I'll happily accept that.
Yeah, it's same with me. So let's talk about more what actually happens in this. So the setup is basically the Americans are doing some Grail War shit. They're setting up their own little Grail War.
Mm-hmm.
They've set out a thing. A bunch of people are gathering around the city where the Grail War is going to happen, and we have our main heroine girl who, based on the information provided in the episode, is kind of being forced into this. Like, she's got some curse that's been placed upon her where it's like, if you don't go and participate in this Grail War, some fucked shit's gonna happen to you.
Yeah, because like the Einsberg family was one of the founders of the Grail War, and they do it because they have the Einsberg was a woman that did the thing, and it got contact into the origin, and did the second magic thing, and it's a big deal, and they tried to recreate it, and therefore they made the Grail War to get there. And so if Einsberg is kind of using a pawn to get to do the second magic, which is a big deal, whatnot.
Yeah, bunch of shit. Yep.
Yeah,
bunch of fuck shit. Yeah. So basically, she's been, she's being thrust into this thing where she's not super knowledgeable of what the fuck's going on. And we get like a lot of establishment this episode of okay, here's our cast of funny characters, right? You've got Guy, the police commissioner has got a guy, and they're having a conversation over the phone, and the guy, I want cheeseburger, right?
Yeah.
Bunch of shit going on, funny goofball kind of guy. You got the American people trying to run it. You've got chick who's got skulls in her hair, who seems like a funny girl. It seems like watching everything.
One small detail: there is a kind of a episode 0 that aired a year ago. Was a thing
which I didn't watch.
No,
so
me neither.
I have no idea.
Which explains some more things that we don't know about.
Well, whatever. The TLDR is. One of the guys is trying to do a summoning and use our girl here as the medium for the summoning. They expect that it's but he gets killed, and then instead of it summoning Artoria as that was what was expected to have summoned, it summons different guy.
Yes.
Nightman. And he's super cool. And then he blows up the theater, and then they get arrested.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where things have kind of new episodes out. Haven't watched it yet.
Episode out? No.
Oh no, is it not out?
No, Nretsew. This is kind of a cheat. It might say it airs this season, but Nretsew, the second episode doesn't have a date yet.
Oh, well, okay. Well.
So if episode 0 was a half a year ago, now we've got episode 1. Maybe episode 2 is like also in a half a year.
2 year. It'll be finished in 5 years. Yeah.
One episode every half year, so that would be like 6 years.
But I mean, the end of the day, though, right, is like it's Fate, right? It's good, it's flashy, it's fun, it's big magic, big intrigue, big mystery, big it's fine. It's fine, right? It's a fun guy. It's a fun show, right? Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be good, and I'll keep up with it whenever.
Oh, did you not watch the after credits?
Kind of did, yeah.
With the priests.
Yeah, the priests, yeah.
Alright.
And then big church involvement, cool church man, yeah.
Old man, muscle scars, and guy with robot arm, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's a big dude. So yeah, some interesting stuff. So I guess now we can move into we might as well go in reverse order because we're kind of doing a bit of a loop. Dr. Stoner Man. Stoner Man.
I did watch a bit just to see where the season is and where I know the thing is,
where it drops off a cliff.
Yeah, for me personally, I guess. Now, not even, not drop off a cliff, but just I know where the story goes and is, and I thought, all right, where does season 3 start in relation to where I know the manga is, etc. But yeah, I know what happens in this episode, but you can talk about it.
Well, I'm not going to talk about it for too long because, it's basically just they're on the boat, they're having a disagreement about what route they're going to take to get to America, and they have a big gamble. Let's go gambling game.
Let's go cheating, actually.
Let's go cheating, yeah. And they have the cheating match. Senku wins, obviously. They decide the route, but as part of that, they decided, well, you won, but as long as the crew's going to have stuff, then because it's going to be harder. Basically, it was a decision between the fast route and the slow route, and the fast route's going to be harder on the crew, but the slow route is going to take too long. So, even though they're going to do the fast route, everyone gets casino on the ship. And that's kind of that's kind of where it ends. And it's I can't really say too much about it because it's a bit early to tell, because I don't know where the cliff jump is going to happen. But from what I can tell, it's just more Dr. Stone, and that's fine with me. My issues with Dr. Stone from last season still apply, where it's we're moving a bit too fast. We're going to go get into space, right? Big jump in tech, right? But yeah, it's alright. It's okay. That's about all I have to say about. I might not talk about Dr. Stone every week unless something big happens, I guess. Because I don't really think there's a need for that. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So one show I can talk about though is Behemoth. S-Class Behemoth, reincarnated as S-Class Behemoth, elf titty anime. So this show's pretty funny. I wasn't driving with it at first, but I'm kind of starting to get a bit more into it. Because basically the premise is you have this guy who's like a knight, right? He's a knight man, right? It's just a normal everyday knight. But, oh no, he gets killed by the demons. Demons kill him. Oh no. But then he wakes up and he's inside an S-class monster, right? He's got the game interface, right? And he's got I've been reincarnated as a behemoth. That's an S-class monster that takes an army to kill. But he's a babu. He's a little babu behemoth. He's a little kitty cat. Little kitty cat behemoth. But he does still have all of his S-rank abilities as the behemoth. So he can go around and he can kill things and absorb their powers. And very slime-like, actually.
Yes.
He's got the slime powers, right? He can go around and absorb things and level up and do all this stuff. And while he's kind of doing that, he stumbles across I'm just going to call her Big Titty Elf Girl. right? So big titty elf girl shows up, and big titty elf girl is going around the dungeon, and she's got super speed. She's very fast.
All right.
She's fast girl, right? But she misses a goblin. She's killing goblins to collect their ears for like a guild quest or whatever, right? And so she misses the mage goblin, but then the kitty cat guy decides, no, I have to save her because can't let an innocent die because I'm a knight. Knights don't let innocent people die. And so he jumps in the way of the mage thing, but he can't. He doesn't want to give away that he is a
super duper strong.
So he gets hit by the magic attack and gets injured. But the elf girl kills the
goblin
thingy-madibba, kills the goblin, and she's like, "Oh no, poor kitty cat, you're so cute," and takes the kitty cat back to the city and nurses him back to health, basically.
Yes.
Right? Essentially nurses our kitty cat back to health. And what ends up happening from there is he starts just kind of like accompanying her on her like trips into the dungeon so she can rank up and become an adventurer, because she comes from a village that was saved by the legendary sword princess knight elf girl, and she's inspired by the other big titty elf girl to become the pretty standard.
If everybody is big titty, who is nobody big titty?
The character we meet in episode 2 is medium titty. We'll get to her in a minute. Because I have to the setup is basically she wants to become strong enough to protect people. Our behemoth nightman is like, she saved my life. I am indebted to her now. I will be her protector, right? And so on, right? And there is some interesting stuff that is kind of like unconventional about this show, right? And one of them is that, so you know how when you're in like the guild, right? And you have all the hot maids that go around and serve drinks in the guild house, right? Usually, you know how the guild receptionist, who we'll talk about in a minute too, like that show, because I want to talk about that show too, even though you didn't put the image up for it. So, you know how they're usually hot girls and stuff? No, in this world, there are big, buff men in bikinis. So you have guys these big, buff dudes walking around with Shovel Knight helmets in bikinis, serving drinks. And the person who's the guild receptionist is like this big, buff, like, I'm not going to say he's a trans dude, but it's like a big buff guy in a bikini with makeup on, right? Yeah. One of those kind of characters, right? And so it's a bit of a role reversal type thing. I think was quite interesting how you've got, but instead of it being, because this is a fan service show, you do get to see the big titty elf girl's nipples. The nipples they do show nips. The nips do get shown. It is an ecchi show, so it's good. Yeah, it's good. But it's interesting how you get a bit of fan service for the girls too. They get to see the big muscle men, right? It's good. So the first episode's plot, outside of what I just established, is there's a guy he's the jerk man, Ellie. He wants the big titty elf girl to be his wife. He's hitting on her and trying to. I'm the big dick man, and the cat guy's like, I'm not having any of this, and scratches his fucking face to bits. Jumps on him, and then he's like, I'll get my revenge. And so he goes off and complains to the mayor, and is like, ha! I have an order to kill your cat because he assaulted me. But if you become my wife, I will let your cat live, right? Kind of thing. And so she challenges him to a duel, and she's not doing too well. But the cat guy is allowed to fight in the duel because the guy's like, what can a cat do? Right? And so Catman kind of uses some of his powers, and he's worried. And the guy ends up, I believe, getting killed because he gets flung into a tree, and then his sword may or may not have cut his dick off. May or may not have landed on his dick. So he may not be castrated. But everyone, he's like, oh no, I've been found out. Everyone's gonna know I'm a behemoth. But then they're like, he's a celestial cat. What? He has powers because he's a celestial cat. He's not a monster. He's a gift from God or something, right? And so he's like, thank God, wonderful. And so the end of that, the first episode is so it turns out our elf girl is a bit of a drunk. She likes to drink. And while she's drinking, she's kind of looking at the cat a bit funny. Have you ever seen that meme where a guy, he zips down his pants, he's like, well, I guess a cat will do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on. There's a little bit of that going on. She might keep her away from the peanut butter, okay? She might. And this gets exemplified in the second episode where we get introduced to the blacksmith girl, who is the medium-sized titty girl in the apron.
The small.
So the small. She's not small, but she's like medium-sized, right? So she shows up and is basically like, hey, I'll make some armor for your cats because if he's going to be going into the dungeons, we'll do that. And Elf Girl has a problem because she's like, I've been like not so effective in combat lately, and I keep breaking all my swords, and I have to keep getting them re-tempered all the time because I'm too fast with them or whatever. And so Blacksmith Girl is like, hey, how about I come with you into the dungeon and I'll watch how you fight and we'll see what's going on, what the problem is. And it turns out the problem is basically she shouldn't be using swords, she should be using daggers because she's super fast, right? Her ability is basically like super speed. But because she's using the swords are slowing her down and she's going too hard with the swords and that's what's breaking the swords, right? So change the swords out for daggers. Now she's super strong. Big strong, can kill big monsters now, right? And the funny scene of the episode is they go to like a hot spring because she gets covered in slime from killing these like tentacle monsters or whatever that are known for doing funky things with women. Typical, as you do, right? So they go into the hot tub and the cat girl blacksmith is like, hey, those cats, right? They like grow quite big, and when they start going into heat, they might be a bit of a problem. You might have to watch out, or the cat will lay his paws on you. That would be bad, right? And the cat guy's like, I would never do that. I am an honorable knight. I would. And she's like, really? That sounds amazing. And she picks up the cat and is like, hey, you better grow up soon so you could be my first time. And he's like, what?
Bit enthusiastic.
But yeah, she is lusting. She is lusting for that cat dick, mate. She is fucking like, or not even drunk in the fucking hot tub. She's like, nope. This cat is gonna be my first time. So it is pretty funny. It is pretty funny. I'm interested to see where it's going. It's got my interest just because of how absurd it kind of is. But I will say, like, outside of the absurdness of her being like really sexually attracted to the cat for some reason, it is pretty bog standard, generic. There's a dungeon. People go into the dungeon, they collect things from the dungeon. She wants to become strong because of pretty basic character modifications, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not like, if you've watched one of these kinds of shows, you've kind of watched them all, right? And so I think my criticism of it is that it is a bit generic, but it does have enough of a little twist of everyone wants to fuck this cat. Because even the blacksmith girl is like, wow, that cat is so loyal. That's so cool. I like this cat. This cat is cool cat, right? Yeah, if only it was a dog, lol. Yeah. I think more people would be talking about it if they knew, right? It's one of those situations. It's kind of like, but yeah, so it's interesting, and the fan service is all right. You don't see it that often. It's not too much. I think it's fine. It's okay. I guess I've got 2 more shows to talk about before my voice fucking explodes.
Yeah.
So I'll do solo leveling first because I can get that out of the way pretty quick. It's more solo leveling, and I'm watching it because I'm going to keep up with it because I find solo leveling interesting because it does like. I was talking about this with I think Phil and Lolly the other day because we were talking about what we were watching. I was talking about what I was watching with them, and like one of the topics that came up was how different solo leveling feels to a typical shonen anime because it's Korean.
Yeah, that's I was going to say.
Because it's Korean, right? And you can feel that in the writing, in the society that's being portrayed, in the messages that it's being, the whole like caste system, but effort versus what you're born with, right, as your native abilities, but the guilds and the companies and the all of that kind of stuff, and I find that like more interesting than solo leveling itself, right? I find like the structure and where it's kind of like going with its messaging and how like the view of like Korean, like I don't want to like do big it's all about Miss Society or whatever, right, type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's interesting like the story from a different culture, right? Comparing that to something like, I don't know, My Hero Academia or like another Japanese kind of shonen, and seeing how like different that feels, right? I actually find that really interesting. So I'm going to keep up with it. The TLDR is like, the guy that, so if you remember from season 1, Jun kills that party of guys that was killing people.
Yeah.
Like the murderer party.
Wasn't there wasn't there the kind of a government official that did that?
No, that was one. That was the other one. No, I'm talking about like when they kill the spider with the other guy.
Oh, the first
one, the first party. Yeah. So the guy that was the head of that party, his brother is the head of one of the guilds, and he's flown back to Korea to basically kill John.
Yes.
Right? He's like, I'm going to just flat out says to the guild official that shows up at the airport, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill him in a dungeon. He's fucking dead. And the government official is like, well, I can't really do anything about that if it's in a dungeon. Just don't like fuck up the country, okay? Like the government official guy is basically just like, look, I don't care what you do in the dungeon. I don't agree with it, obviously, but like, just don't cause me any more paperwork, essentially. And the guy's like, yeah, whatever. Fuck you. Fuck off. You're not going to be able to stop me anyway. Fuck, being a bit of a dick, right? So basically, that guy's shown up in Korea and he's after Jun. But Jun is taking the girl, one of the girl that's the classmate of his sister, into a dungeon, kind of to try and scare her off going into a dungeon because she's an E rank, right, and can't level up and do anything. But when they go into the dungeon, oh no, Ellie, it's become a red gate. So they've been locked in the dungeon, and it's now a high-level dungeon. It's transformed into a different dungeon. And so you have the guy that went in with them who's the high-ranking, like, A-rank guy, right? He's like, everyone listen to me. I'm the big A-rank man. I know what to do. If you stay with me, you might survive, right? We're going to split into 2 teams. All of the guys that are low-level, you go with this guy, the low-level guy. But if anyone that has a chance at actually surviving, come with me. And so I think you can probably guess what happens, Ellie. Do you want to guess what happens?
The low rankings die, or no, the reverse.
No. The low rankings go with Jun and they survive.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. And then the high ranking guys get fucking annihilated by snow elves. So because they're in like a snowy biome forest thing, and there's these like polar bears and snow elves that are like intelligent or whatever, and they're like, yeah. So the A rank guy is getting his shit kicked in. In the meantime, Jun is like, you guys, I'll keep you safe. You just have to shut the fuck up and not say anything. Right? Hush, hush. Don't ask questions. Don't, But yeah, just yeah. And so it's more solo leveling. It seems to be going, I can see the direction it's kind of going, where it's going to be, yeah, Jun is going to like save everyone in this dungeon, and then he's going to, you know, leave the dungeon and probably bump into the guild boss guy who wants to kill him, and he's going to have to deal with that, right?
Yeah, because the first season kind of set up the brother guy as kind of a gated time thing. The boss will arrive in 3 weeks. I have to train to be level whatever before that to survive the attack.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So that's kind of like the progression is. I think there's going to be a big fight with the guild guy, and that's going to cause problems. But again, I find it interesting enough, you know, to keep going, because there's also the whole like ant islands thing going on in the background, because you have the adventurers coming back from that and going, hey, the ants are evolving, they're growing the ability to fly, they're going to become a problem, we need to like actually sort out a party to go deal with this, right? It's going to be a big problem, right? And so that's solo leveling. This is the last show that I'm going to talk about, as you added to the show thing, is guild receptionist soloing bosses.
Yeah.
So you haven't watched it, right? You haven't watched it yet?
No.
Okay, so the opening is fucking gorgeous. The opening is actually really cool. It's like, it's funny because the opening is super well animated and it's super like stunning visuals, and it's almost like a different fucking show, right? It's kind of crazy. Yeah, you have this like big, the opening. I would go watch the opening maybe, because it is very nice. It's a very nice opening. So
I would also even recommend the opening for the Orb on the full title, really. Orb on the movements of the earth.
Right.
That's the whole title.
So the guild show is funny as fuck. I am really enjoying the guild show.
I had the feeling it would be just the style and the 1.5 seconds I saw of the trailer.
So you have our guild. I'm going to call her Guild Girl, right? So Guild Girl, she loves her job. She goes to work. She's got great. She even like talks about this in the show a couple of times. She's like, I have great job security. I'm employed for life. I get paid really well. I get to clock out at a good time. I get to go home. I get to have a bath. I get to, you know, like, oh, it's so great. My life is great. I get my cushy job, right? But there's a problem. There's this dragon, and no one can kill the dragon. And because no one can kill the dragon, all these requests keep coming in for everyone trying to kill the dragon. And she has to keep filling out the paperwork. So she has to work overtime. And so she's working overtime constantly. And she's like, no, I want to go home. I want to go in my bath and eat my food. So she's getting really mad. Ellie, she's very mad.
Yeah.
She has to work overtime because she's like, those fucking guild fuckers can't kill this fucking dragon or fucking goddamn. So you jump cut to the guild guys. Right, because it starts off with one of the guild guys. He's like, I'm gonna go kill the dragon. I'm a big knight, veteran, old man. Look at the scars on my face. I don't have to show you my license. Just look at me. And she's like, please show me your license. And he's like, no, look at me. Please show me your license.
Yeah.
Please show me your license, sir. And he's like, okay. But he gets annihilated.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 3 people of the party are like, shit, we're going to lose. We have to retreat. But all of a sudden, this mysterious figure comes into the dungeon with a giant she summons a hammer. No one else has summoning magic like that, Ellie. No one has been able to summon a hammer. What the hell is this? And she goes in and she starts screaming at this dragon about overtime or something. He doesn't quite get what she's saying. But she's beating the shit out of the dragon and kills it by herself, Ellie. This mysterious executioner girl, right? Who is this mysterious girl?
Who sent her?
Who sent her? And it turns out it's our guild receptionist lady, because she's like, these motherfucking lazy pricks can't fucking do their job. I'll do it for them. But there's a problem. The head of the guild, who was the one that was in the dungeon trying to kill the dragon, he's got good memory and good eyesight in the darkness, and he sees her face in the hood. And so she's freaking out because now everyone's trying to figure out who the mysterious executioner girl is, and the guild guy is like, they're walking down the street, and as they're walking down the street, he sees her, and he's like, no, it can't be. And then he walks into the guild hall and is like, I recognize you. You're the thing. And she's like, fuck. I'm gonna lose my job because I faked my license to get into the dungeon. Fuck, shit, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to lose my job. So she takes her into she takes him into the back alley. It is basically like, if you fucking say anything, I'm going to fucking kill you.
As you do.
To fucking... And he's like, whoa. And he's like, no, I want you to join the guild. And she's like, no, you don't understand. I have a cushy job here. I have healthcare and benefits. And he's like, but we'll give you all that in the guild. No, you don't. I don't want to fucking go into dungeons. No, fuck you. And he's like, but you have like some blessing from a god or something that lets you summon. You're so powerful and so cool. And she's like, no, fuck you. She's like, no, fuck you. If you get in the way of my job, I'm going to fucking shove this hammer up your ass. You will regret the time that you scorned me. Like, she's just like full on like, no, fuck off. She's like, I will report you for sexual harassment.
Anything, everything.
Just leave me the fuck alone, right? You will be silent about this, right? And he's like, I need this girl. I need this girl in my guild. I will have this girl.
Oh no, stalker.
Yeah, oh no. So, and then the end of the episode is a disgruntled guild guy is harassing her workmate, her kohai. Her kohai is getting harassed, Ellie. What is she going to do? What is going to happen? And then that's how the episode ends, kind of. And it's fucking hilarious. Like, I'm not doing it justice. My description is really not doing justice. The comedic timing on all of this is fucking top-notch. It's really good. And even though it's not like the same animation as the OP, the animation is still really good. I mean, the CGI dragon is a bit shit, but it's fine. CGI dragon's a bit, but the animation in general is passable, right? It's fine, right? It's okay. But yeah, definitely. I think this might be the sleeper hit. I think this is going to be the sleeper hit of the season. Based on this first episode, I think people are gonna maybe like this is gonna be like the Seventh Prince, right? Where everyone thinks, oh, it's just some dumb fucking fantasy show, oh, it's not gonna be a big and then everyone is like, wow, this is amazing, right? I think that's gonna be the show. I think it's gonna be the sleeper hit of the season. So I'm very keen to keep up with it. I think it's super good. So yeah, so that's what I've been watching. I'm pretty much done. I don't have you.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just drop the need Kunoichi right away. Maybe you'll give it another episode.
I'll probably give it like another couple of episodes, and if I'm not jiving, I'll drop it. Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll let you know. I won't do like recaps on it, but I'll let you know.
No, it's alright. But yeah, bunch of shows, very in contrast to previous season, kind of similar to
the Dan to Dan season, yeah.
And kind of although Orb. It's kind of an awkward title in English, But, on the movements of the Earth, the planet show, science discovery of science show, started airing last season, so I could have talked about Orb for the entire few months, but I didn't. Instead of I was watching just Dan the Duns.
Yeah.
But I do recommend it enough. And just to repeat myself, good opening. I do understand some English, but it was a little bit too much for me in the opening. But just for a vague translation, the OP is about devouring the stars, which and kind of a even I'll become a monster. I'll become a monster. Standing here devouring the stars kind of speaks to me more of a I am taking in the sky, and you can all say I'm wrong, but I don't care. I'll be here underneath the stars.
Right.
That's kind of the vibe.
All right. I guess if we don't have anything else, we can cap off the first episode of 2025.
Yeah. You
don't know what we're gonna do. Don't know what we're gonna do next week. We'll think of something. We'll find some video. Do something next week.
Yeah, I did have a plan. Just real short. I did have a plan to do some midweek Rifantasio metaphor streams.
Yeah.
Maybe I did for the great people in chat. I did have a plan to do all of it maybe on stream, but maybe I'll step away from it. I'll try to do like 3-hour streams in the middle of the week at random points.
Yeah. And I might jump in and do some. It's just because I've got other stuff going on, so I can't.
Yeah.
Consistent streaming for me is going to be a bit of a pain, but I might, every now and then I might jump on and do some GFL 2 or something, or I might find something to do. But for the most part, it's just it's going to be another year of critical critiquing. It seems, we'll do the usual.
And we did our new toy worked, showing images that Nretsew wanted to show.
Yes, we can now more easily get the images going. Yes, it's going to be good. It's going to be hell yeah. I could put memes up that'll probably get us banned. It'll be great.
I still have some control over that.
Yeah. But anywho, we'll catch you guys next time.
Later.
Bye.